Who can that be knocking at my door? Stay away, don't come round here no more. Can't you see that it's late at night? Inside, I'll only run and hide. All I wish is to be alone. Stay away, don't you invade my home. Ringside views, which good. Let's populate. Y'all know the drill. Post your flag. Where you from? Where you at? What you doing? Saeed was goody. Alex was goody. Josh Lopez was goody. Post your flags. Where you from? Where you at? What are you doing? Who can it be now? Who can it be now? Is it the man come to take me away? Why do they follow me? It's not the future that I can see. It's just my fantasies. Only old heads like me gonna know that. Young heads have no idea what the fuck it is I'm singing right now. Oh, darling, if I'd out Comby on a hippie trailhead full of zombies, I met a strange lady. She made me nervous. She took me in and gave me breakfast. And she said, do you come from a land down under, where the women pour and ponder? Can't you hear that thunder? Better, bro. I ain't got the voice for that, no, dog. Like, I ain't got it, and I have no shame in that. I know how to do a lot of things. Singing is not one of them. Canada is in the building. UK Rob was good. So it's a lot of rumors going around. It's a lot of different things I want to cover. Some things that may end up being segments on the relay, some that might not. Australia is in the building. Tim Zooey's the mandatory. I know that's going to be a segment on the relay. That's why I'm not going to cover that here. I'm going to do that as a segment. I want to take my time with that. Quick point. You're doing good if you upset a few people. Means the truth is being told. Appreciate that, Saeed. As we all know, there are some out there who are very fond of me. That's one way to put it. Australia is in the building. Yo, look. They made Taylor Robinson versus Shotgun Shannon O'Connell. I got to say, I love the fight, and I hate the fight. I love the fight because I don't know what's going to happen. I hate the fight because I don't think Taylor should be fighting Shannon this soon. And that's going to be a segment on the relay. Like, I ain't even going to get all the way into that. I'm going to just let the list populate a little bit. Fill me in because I quit Twitter, bro, if you haven't noticed. Yeah, nothing major, man. Just trolls, man. Shout out to Melissa Odessa. She had to deal with a couple of trolls I saw. She had to deal with a couple of trolls because apparently she's not allowed to speak her mind when it comes to the sport that she's dedicated her life to for, I don't know, over a decade. She got to check in with the Goomba committee first, the Oompa Loompa committee. Face painters with the waist trainers. Shout out to Melissa Odessa, man. One of the nicest people I've had the good fortune of speaking to. The face painters with the waist trainers. They're going to tell a boxer what the boxer could talk about, what they can't talk about. That's wild, man. This is what I'm saying. Twitter is a very toxic place. I've been saying it for a very long time. It's a very toxic place that's full of people that don't get to behave that way in the real world. So they vent their frustration, their evil, and their bitterness via social media, which is the one place they feel empowered to do so. Well, I already know, man. Like, man, look, man, motherfuckers. Look, man, believe it or not, motherfuckers hating me is not something that's exclusive to social media. That's I'm used to it. Like, yeah, you get mad because when you say shit that's true, people not gonna like it. Marcel Soto, shout out to Adrian, shout out to Israel, Joaquin Rivera. in the building. Harlem is in the Harlem is in the building. Harlem is in the building. La 145 Player Sport. The McDonald's on Broadway. You know what I'm saying? Motherfucking the Waffle House on 135th and 8th. Is that 8th? No, that ain't even 8th. That's 7th. The Waffle House is on 7th. A lot of fights at the Waffle House. A lot of fights. I ain't been lived in New York in years, but I remember. Go to the Waffle House 2, 3, 4 in the morning. Fights, eggs, and waffles. Pancakes, because it's an IHOP, but I don't really like pancakes. I like waffles. Oh, you in East Harlem. I dig it. I dig it. I'm from the West. You know what I'm saying? So the first thing I'm going to start off with are the Manny Pacquiao numbers. Apparently, the pay-per-view only did about, and these are preliminary reports, these are not final numbers, as if there is such a thing when it comes to these reported pay-per-view buys. The preliminary numbers are about 250,000 pay-per-view buys sold. And the question is this an indictment on Manny Pacquiao's marquee value, or is it negligible? Is it forgivable because we know there was a last-minute opponent switch? And I feel it's both. I feel that I feel that it is an indictment on Manny Pacquiao's marquee value, that he's not the same draw that he used to be, and that's understandable because he's 42 fucking years old, right? There's that, but there's also the times that pay-per-views as a whole are not selling as much as they used to. So even if it is an indictment on Manny Pacquiao, what boxers are touching 500,000 to 1 million these days? Who? You know what I mean? Was Goody Francis? Was Goody Timmy? Was Goody Jump Tube JD? Aye. You know what I mean? Oh, yeah, man. But I don't like that fight for Taylor right now. I'm going to do a video on it. I don't like that fight for Taylor right now. I really don't. She got guts. If she win that fight, man, she's a bad motherfucker. If she win that fight, but I'm going to get into it. I'm going to get into it. You see the Kevin? Oh, yes, I did, bro. That's where I got it from. That's where I got it from. Is 250,000 buys an indictment on Manny Pacquiao's remaining marquee value? And the answer is yes, it is. It is. You know what I mean? That means that that's the only amount of people you was able to get interested in your fight. You're the bigger name. Whenever you walk into the ring, you're a bigger name than Ugas. You're still a bigger name than Errol Spence Jr. as well. And the expectation is that it should be better. So if it's not, it is an indictment on Manny Pacquiao. But who else right now is touching 3 and 4 and 5 and 1 million? Who? In boxing, right? Who? So it's not just an indictment on Manny Pacquiao's marquee value. It is also an indictment on the matchmaking in the sport of boxing overall, that the populace is not interested, and this illusion that there's all this money on pay-per-view. No, there's more chances of you losing money on pay-per-view. That's because the world is streaming. A lot of people don't want to understand that for whatever reason. I don't know. Maybe the networks pay them, or the promotional outfits pay them. These other channels out there that like to propagate this idea, pervade this myth that, pay-per-view is the shit. How the fuck is it the shit, bro? You see what the numbers are. Javante Davis, 215. Errol Spence Jr., 225. Manny Pacquiao, 250. The shit they talking about is a myth. That's the shit they talking about. That shit is a myth. So I'm going to open up the conversation to the panel, and we're going to get everybody's ideas in this. Those that are willing, show us what you're eating. What are you having for breakfast? All right, we're going to open it up to the panel to see, how does everybody feel about that shit? 250K is an indictment on American boxing. Hot take, I agree. Hot take, very hot take, I agree. That's an indictment on the boxing scene here in America that's supposed to be the Mecca, right? maybe I'm stupid, but I never bootlegged an album or streamed a fight. Now you're not stupid, bro. You're not stupid. It's okay if you never did that. It's not a requisite that you shoplift digital media. It's not a requisite. That's not some rite of passage. If you never did that, good on you. That means you're an honest person that has a lot of character. Had some ribs for dinner here in the. Where you at, Jay St. Peter? Where you at? PBC, what pay-per-view you want next? 80% Pac-Man. The consumer is speaking. Yo, ain't that the motherfucker? Ain't that the truth, Rob? I say it all the time, and people want to argue with me about this shit, and I say it all the time. Pay-per-view is not what it used to be. I don't know why people want to act like it ain't what it used to be. John, what do you think about it? 250,000 pay-per-views sold in a country where there are, 300 million people? What does it say, John?
Well, if they want to carry on doing pay-per-view, they've got the price point wrong. Because pay-per-view still does well here, but we pay £20.
That's true. That's true.
So what's all this madness? How much was it?
Like, it was $80, bro.
Yeah. For a disappointment, because for someone like me, I think there's a good chance that Ugas was actually a better opponent for Manny. But the boxing, like the general public, they don't know who he is. So
yeah, I mean, honestly,
it's like no hype behind that fight. Wow.
Exactly. It's like what I said in the build-up, that it's like, look, if we getting all ready to eat ribs for dinner, or we getting ready to eat a sirloin steak for dinner, and then 2 hours before we go, we gonna get Chinese food. The energy not gonna be the same. I've been waiting for these ribs. I've been waiting for this steak. And if 2 hours before dinner, we gonna get some lo mein. Yeah, the lo mein is alright. I mean, I like lo mein. It's alright, but it ain't what I was waiting for. And when you telling people $80 for that, bro, it wasn't. Look, a lot of people that ended up seeing the fight, they said, because I was on Twitter, you're right. I was on Twitter when I seen the shit. They was like, oh, the undercard is better than I thought. Yeah, but you got to get people to buy the undercard, regardless of what you think after the fact. That undercard is unattractive.
Julius, when it goes into these fights, how much actual promotional work is getting done?
None.
So what? I keep hearing that Al Heyman is a business genius, but surely if you have a commercial mind, you understand that to make money and sales, you need to promote yourself.
He is. See,
Bob Arum's just as bad.
No. Yeah, I was gonna say that. I was gonna say that Bob is not promoted, because he's got some guys over there that with a little bit of elbow grease, you could turn them into stars, right? But Al is not a promoter in any by any. I would have had Victor Ortiz. And Robert Guerrero. I would have had him wrestling outside of a car dealership ahead of the fight. Like, look, man, these two motherfuckers gonna fight this weekend. You want to see it. You want to be there.
You don't have to be the promoter yourself if you're Al Heyman. But why is he not paying a professional promoter who is good at their job?
Well, that's the thing. He is. Tom Burnt.
You didn't hear the end of the sentence.
Oh, yeah.
Good at their job. Who actually
this is what I mean. Like Samson Lukowicz, to me, he has a good eye for talent. Samson Lukowicz, he has a good eye for talent, but as far as promotion, he's small time. You are small time, all right?
Look, since Don King, because whatever anybody wants to say about the corruption, what a horrible man he was, that man put the hours in making the promotion. He'd work to make sure the tickets got sold, that everybody knew the fight was happening, that it was going to be the best fight they'd ever seen. He'd be putting that work in. The only person doing work like that at the moment is Eddie Hearn.
Yeah. And I'm not gonna turn it into Eddie Hearn appreciation hour. But notice, whenever there's a show, he runs down the itemized list of fights and he sells them. He talks about them. And he's the only one that I see that is doing any actual promoting. Everybody else, they put on a card, there it is. You know what I mean? Like yesterday's
be grateful, and pay us.
Yeah, like there it is. Yesterday's pizza. Khan, 250,000 pay-per-view buys in the American market. What does that say?
Well, it says all these people who talk all this nonsense about these pay-per-views, they're not actually buying the pay-per-views, right? You know, so these first let me just say good morning, Julius. Good morning, John. You know what I mean? It's a hot day. It's a hot day. It's afternoon. It's afternoon. Sorry. So the 200 and something pay-per-view buys, right? It's just indicative that people just not buying these pay-per-views, and all these people who talk the loudest on social media, they should be forced to show the receipt that they actually bought these pay-per-views. But it's interesting now that I'm seeing the people who used to having 1 million. Now it's like, man, 200 and something. I think it was Bob Arum said, man, 200 and something thousand pay-per-views is great. That's great. So you're moving, so the bar is being lowered now. It's being lowered now to 200 and something pay-per-views, and it's conditioning people's minds like, yeah, this is normal. 200 and something pay-per-view buys in a country that I was told is the mecca of boxing. You got to come here to do this, and you got to come because you know you're gonna sell more here. Well, the American fighters are not selling. The biggest pay-per-view fighter in America is not an American, Canelo. So
and we're gonna see what he does. Like, because I anticipated for Manny, I don't know, maybe 350 at least, you know, because it's Manny. Well, it was less than that. And the other thing is, if they tell you that it's 250, it's not 250. I said this before. When they said that Gervonta Davis versus Leo Santa Cruz did 225, if they're telling you 225, it's not 225. It's probably 170. Fast forward to the Barrios fight. They say the Barrios pay-per-view outsold the Santa Cruz pay-per-view. But peep game, the Barrios pay-per-view's numbers was 215. So if this one outperformed that one, and this one only brought in 215, what that means is that one didn't bring in 225. You told me it brought in 225. Fast forward, oh, this one did better than that one. Okay, what this one do? 215. Wait a minute. So what did the other one bring in? Probably 170. Probably. And that's if they're lucky. Because you can't fake an interest. Nobody gives a shit. Nobody gives a shit about none of those fights.
We still don't know how much the Wilder Ortiz fight actually did. We still don't know. We still don't know. And people are trying to convince me that Ortiz made this big money on this fight. So we still don't know. So these people are trying to tell me, a consumer, I'm a consumer, that I should pay $80 for this for these fights. I don't buy pay-per-views. I'm done with that. You know what I'm saying? This is why I have the DAZN app, or why I need the DAZN app to work. But these people are out here, yeah, $80, but I don't think these people are actually paying that $80. I don't think so.
No, I'll tell you what, bro. The pay-per-view model can work when the promotional outfits are ready to nut the fuck up and risk it all. For example, this is an example. If tomorrow it was announced, Teofimo Lopez, Gervonta Davis, the brawl for it all, somewhere in fucking America, you're getting $80 from me. You're getting it. You are fucking getting it, all right? If it's that fight, all right? If it's Devin Haney, Teofimo Lopez, you are getting my fucking money. You're getting it. I always use myself as an example, because if you don't know how other people feel, you yourself as a consumer know how you feel. It's like, yeah, that's a really good fucking fight. I might have to buy that. So when I get that feeling and I think about a fight, it's always in association with the fights that are not happening. It's always the ones that ain't happening. If you told me Crawford versus Spence, well, before the car accident, right? Because I don't think that dude gonna make it. I don't. But if you would have told me Crawford versus Spence, you can have my money. Let me tell you something. If Anthony Joshua versus Alexander Usyk here in America were an $80 fight, I'd still pay for it.
But the thing is, Julius, here they might put it up to £30, but that's a lot less. It's like a lot less. And if you charge less but you sell more, you can actually end up making more money.
It's also the infrastructure, John. before the guarantees were lower, so you had a better chance of having an upside. Whereas now you got a lot of guys, they want a lot of money up front. That all goes into the operational cost. If you got a guy like Wilder, for example, guy wants $30 million up front for the Fury fight. Fury wants $30 million up front for the Fury fight because that's what their guarantees were reported to be for the rematch, right? That's $60 million in guarantees. 60. How many pay-per-views do you have to sell to hit the 60? Whereas if the guarantees were lower and they were more realistic, like, look, you a $5 million fighter. You a $5 million fighter at best, all right? So that's what you get up front. That's what you get. Everybody thinks they a superstar.
What's the guarantees for Wilder Fury on the second fight? On this last fight, sorry, trilogy.
It's supposed to be 60-40. It's not 50-50 now. But I'll tell you something. I'll tell you something, John. I don't know if Fury gonna get no motherfucking 30. We'll see. I think he'll be lucky to get 30 million up front.
If he's supposed to be getting that type of money, unless Vegas is covering it with a site fee, I don't think Bob will want to put it on.
I mean, look, there's when it comes to that fight, and I haven't. If you guys have noticed, I haven't wasted time and energy on that fight because that fight and those two guys make me depressed when it comes to boxing. Like, I'm so sick of both of you.
I've mapped out AJ's year next year.
Well,
do a trilogy with Andy Ruiz in the spring in Madison Square Gardens to just shut up the critics in America.
Yep.
And then fight Joe Joyce in Abuja in Nigeria. The amount of billionaires there are in Nigeria, they can get the site fee. Joe Joyce is half Nigerian. That will be the biggest party
I'm half
boxing
Nigerian.
has ever seen.
I'm half Nigerian.
Well, I'm not what my kids are. I'm not what my kids are, so I'm going.
I'm going.
I'm going. I'm going.
Motherfucking
I've got it planned. I know exactly where I'm staying. I'm going.
Frank Warren is not going to allow that.
No,
no. If Joe Joyce wants it,
I like that. Kong. I like that.
Oh,
wait a minute. Kong picked it up. You really? That's what you have to ask yourself about that fight. Right now, there's a situation with the WBA. We all know what it is. Daniel Dubois is very close to becoming the WBA's mandatory challenger. But what you have to ask yourself is Frank down to feed his guys the matchroom? Because that's where the fight gonna be at.
Yeah, but listen, Julius, right? The site fee is going to be massive. And if they can come to an arrangement on the pay-per-view, Nigeria's on the same time as the UK.
Listen.
They're on UK time.
Listen.
So from an audience point of view,
the Zone wants that fight in the UK. There's no two ways about it. They want that fight.
If we're going to look at like massive site fees, there's the site fee can rival Saudi because they've got that type of money over there.
But who gets the rights, John? Does Frank put on the fight if he can't deliver the fight?
But if Frank can't deliver the fight anyway, how is Frank going to pay AJ?
It's not that. It's that. It's that these guys are spiteful, John. You've seen it. These guys are spiteful.
But the man is virtually insolvent. If you start, look, did you see Frank's face when he found out that Fury wasn't going to fight AJ because? Frank, how's Frank going to make any money? Tell me how Frank is going to make some money, please.
Right, let me pass it. Let's pass it to Kong. Kong, question.
Yeah.
And you've answered it, but elaborate. Does that fight actually happen? Dubois versus Anthony Joshua. Fucking Joyce versus Anthony Joshua. What's your take?
I think Frank has done his part to get his guys in position to fight Joshua. I don't think he lets it go to Nigeria, though. I think he'll try and keep it close to home in a way. Because if he lets it go to Nigeria, it's going to be an all matchroom affair. All matchroom. Mm-hmm. But I have a question quickly to you. Mm-hmm. You said Dubois is going to be might be mandatory. It's not going to be like Laywood and Conlon where they make Trevor Bryan and Dubois fight?
No, that's what I mean. After this fight this weekend, because he's fighting on the undercard of Paul versus Woodley, right? He's gonna beat that guy. After that, the plan is to have him fight Trevor Bryan, and I do believe he'll beat Trevor Bryan. I like the Dubois kid. Say what you will, but I like the kid. I think he beats that guy. If he beats that guy, he becomes the mandatory challenger for Anthony Joshua. That is 2 fights from now. That's just 2. That's this one this weekend, and then after that. All right. Now we know Anthony Joshua. Okay, he's got 1 fight at least, the Usyk fight. That's next month. After that, I don't know who he's gonna fight after that. Maybe it'll be like John said, Andy Ruiz Jr. rematch. Yeah, maybe they do that, and then let's say that's the pecking order. Usyk, Ruiz trilogy. After that, you're gonna have to deal with a mandatory challenger. Most likely might be the WBA's mandatory challenger. And who is that? That's Daniel Dubois. He won't have to deal with Joyce yet because the fight that he's about to have is the WBO's mandatory challenger, right? So from September 2021 to September 2022, he's cool with the WBO. He's cool. Like, I satisfied y'all mandatory already. Y'all can't give me another one in less than 12 months. So Joe will have to wait, but not Daniel. Daniel's next in the rotation.
Well, I think Frank did a brilliant job in getting his guys into positions like that. I think he did his job. That's what you're supposed to do. Mm-hmm. Daniel might not have deserved it, but it's gonna save Frank's. Well, I don't know his exact issue.
But Iron Kong, right? How is Frank gonna make any money off Daniel Dubois fighting Anthony Joshua in the UK? Because someone needs to explain that to me.
No. Listen, because John. He'll get his cut. He'll get his cut. Remember,
but that,
remember, it's something like 30%. It's something like 30%. So
okay.
Let's say it's 30% of 10 million.
Okay, so why would you turn down the Abuja money that might be a lot bigger? Because Frank cannot put an AJ fight on. He can't pay AJ's purse.
No, see, this is what I mean. This is what I think.
Well,
right?
I'm kind of answering what Iron Kong is saying, because there's 2 things. BT Sports is supposed to be up for sale. And secondly, no matter where the fight is, no matter how it happens, Frank can't pay AJ's purse.
Wait a minute, John.
He cannot.
I got to get more Brits up here because I got to get some more Brits up here because I just had a startling revelation that just hit me like a body shot. Is it possible that old Fish Eyes jumps into bed with Sky?
It's very possible.
He has a stable. He has a stable. It's not like Wasserman where they're in the beginning. Wasserman is forming a stable. You're not going to tell me that you're going to sell all these Brits, Philippe Hergovic and Mavis Breeders and Chris
Eubank. The only way it's not possible is Frank went on record when Eddie was leaving Sky. Did you see the interview with Frank? He thought,
I didn't see that.
Frank's so out of touch. Frank is so out of touch. He thought Eddie is failing because he's gone to his own. And he was very smugly saying that he's got 3 years or something left with BT Sports. So he might not actually be able to get out of that contract. And BT Sports do not seem to be too keen on funding boxing. But I could be wrong. Get some other people's opinions because I could be wrong.
I'll tell you this. If BT sees the numbers and they say, you know what, Frank? We're going to let you go, Frank. You can go. Be free, Frank. Be a bird. Be free and go to Sky.
Yeah, it could happen. It could happen. But Sky might look at those numbers too and be like, well, why do we want you, Frank?
Because Sky don't have shit, John. They don't have. What do they got? Chris Eubank Jr.? We're going to put on Chris Eubank Jr. pay-per-view. Did you see what they said? Pay-per-views. With who? Philippe Hergovic and off-brand.
But I think everybody's overlooking the fact that if Matchroom's on his own, and if AJ goes to his own, UK might stop being a pay-per-view market.
Now wait, no. All right, we got to go across the board. Box watch. Is it possible that old Fish Eyes swims over the Sky?
Yo, can you hear me?
Is it possible that old Fish Eyes swims over the Sky?
You know why it's possible? Because PT as a whole, they're in a bit of a disarray. They're not loving their numbers across the board in all their sports, not just boxing. So with that, anything's possible. To be fair, I don't think that Sky really is feeling Frank's stable as a whole in general.
Okay,
but that's just
Box Watch. Remember, if you're willing to jump into bed with Wasserman, what do they got? A bunch of German guys?
that's the thing. That's what I was about to say.
Look, the Germans do have a boxing scene of their own, so I don't mean it like that. But Sky is a major network in the United Kingdom, and if you're open to jumping into bed with a promotional outfit that has mostly catered to German and fighters from that region, you're not going to be closed-minded to Frank. Frank's got Brits. Frank's got Sonny Edwards. I love Sonny Edwards.
They got Triple D as well. They got Triple D. They don't have Fury. Let's just be real. They don't have Fury.
They don't have Fury.
They haven't got that. But they do have Joe Dress, and they've got Daniel Dubois. They've got the Edwards brothers. They've got both of them now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on with Charlie. He's living his best life right now. He just had a baby and stuff. So he will be coming back though. And Sonny is just a new champion right now.
This is what I mean. You have something more. You have something more substantial with Frank than what you have in Wasserman. Wasserman is a fledgling promotional company whose stable of fighters mostly consist of German guys and Croatian guys and guys with a lot of consonants in their name, K's and Z's and J's and D's. All right. If you're looking for a substitute for Matchroom, the substitute really would be Frank before it's Mick Hennessy, right?
Queensberry is not a foregone conclusion. Queensberry could go over there. I can see that happening at some point. I can see that happening, but I can see that happening mostly because BT situation. BT situation isn't the best at the moment, according to sources.
Look. Now think about this. Now think about this, Box Watch. Very recently, Sky jumped into bed with Top Rank. Top Rank promotes Mick Conlon in America. Mick Conlon in the UK is with who? Frank.
There you go.
All coming together, man, like a fucking.
All coming together.
Like
and so is
fucking orgy party.
So it's, if you remember when Josh Taylor had his his undisputed fight, right? They were still slightly with Eddie, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they did not even sniff at that fight. They didn't even sniff at it. What was happening before is that there was rumors that Frank was trying to get Josh Taylor.
Now I'm going to tell you something. What if I just had a Capricornian moment, all right? What if let's just say that Tyson Fury beats Wilder for the third time. Tyson Fury is a top-ranked fighter in America. Let's say Frank Warren jumps into bed with Sky. That bridges the gap for Tyson Fury to be a Sky Sports fighter. They already 100%. Got Josh. They got Josh Taylor. They got Josh Taylor. Top Rank has him, but think about what Frank has. It's not the same as what Matchroom has. It's not better. But if you're Sky and you need content, specifically content and fighters for a British audience, Frank is the next best thing.
Frank's got UK fighters. He's got UK fighters. It's simple as this. And yeah, most of his stable is UK fighters. He's got Anthony Yard, he's got Lyndon Arthur, he's got
Callum Johnson.
Callum Johnson's gone over there. He's got that guy in the 130. We've got that guy on 130 who said something to Stevenson, and Stevenson was like, "Who are you?" I can't remember his name now.
Right, yeah. I know the fucking guy. I know he's with Frank. He's
with Frank. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. He's with Frank. So Frank is stable is UK fighters, and that's the thing. So I wouldn't call it a foregone conclusion, and especially because of where BT stance is right now, as things stand. Okay, so if they have like a big investor come in and to help them out and stuff like that, if they don't have that, I can see Frank going over to Sky.
The guy you was talking about was Archie Sharp. Yeah, I remember.
Archie Sharp. That's Archie.
So I was like Archie Sharp versus Stevenson.
Yeah, there you go. You got Archie Sharp. He's got Leon Woodstock. All these guys are UK fighters. Do you get what I'm saying? He's got all the UK. He's got basically the best of the rest from the UK.
And this is what I mean. And before I pass it to Tim Townsend, this is what I mean. That if you're open to a Wasserman, right? If you're open to a fucking Wasserman, why wouldn't you be open to Frank Warren and his stable of guys? He's got what you need. Tim Townsend, how does it sound?
Yeah, to be honest, just like my man before, I think I could definitely see Frank going there.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely has the UK base for fighters over here. But my issue is I don't know what his relationship is with Adam Smith, who runs Sky. I'm not sure what kind of relationship they have, particularly as he's been with Eddie for so long, because he's the one that runs Sky. He's the one that hands out the budgets. And also, I think just looking at it, he's got the fighters, but can he put on enough cards throughout the year for Sky? Because Eddie was putting on so many cards, British fights, world fights. Can Frank do that? I'm not too sure.
No, now wait a minute. Frank don't have to. You got Frank and you got Nisse and Kel Sarland. Between them, you can make up that. Like, yeah, Eddie was putting cards on all over the place. But between those two guys, yeah, you can substitute. You know, Nisse and Kel, they will conjure up as many German fighters, as many Pfaffendugens and Hugenfuckens as you need. And Frank, his guys will fight those Germans. Like, it's was werden, and they'll fight.
They've got another. They got Top
as well, don't they?
No, but they've got another UK-based promoter, some young guy, with his promotional company called. Oh my days! I think it's
Shalom. Something Shalom.
That's the guy.
Yeah.
That's
Boxer.
the guy.
Yeah. It's called Boxer.
That's the Boxer, right? He's petitioning to join with Sky as well, and he's trying to get all the young fighters that are like fringe world level. Well, not fringe. And I say fringe,
domestic.
Known. Fringe and known in the UK. Okay. So they've been fighting a lot of small hall shows and such, and he's gathering these guys up that have been winning their small hall show fights, gathering them up, putting them with his promotional company, and he's going to pitch. He's pitching to Sky. Like as we speak, he's pitching to Sky. Sky's liking what he's talking about.
They're building the anti-Hearn.
So basically, he's like Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn was back in the days. He's like that.
They're building. Adam Smith is building the anti-Hearn machine. You know how they had the Antichrist, the anti-Hearn.
So basically, they don't need just one promoter. They will go through 2, 3, 4 promoters to compensate. For all the spaces that there are.
They can handle it because who the fuck has an Anthony Joshua? Not Frank, not Shalom, not Wasserman, right? So they actually have the resources to really promote these guys, these different promoters and a different stable of fighters, because they don't have a Dillian White. They don't have, Joshua's got one fight left with them, and beyond that, who knows what he does. But you were spending a lot of money on Matchroom. You were spending a lot of money on them, a lot of money on their fights. You ain't got to spend money like that on Frank and his little shows. You can fit his little shows in a high school auditorium. Same with the Shalom guy. Same shit. So it's there. The ingredients is there. Eddie Hearn, if you're listening, you need to be worried. You need to be worried because they're all going to turn into one big dick that's trying to fuck you in the UK. And you're going to have to put on some, he's going to have to put on some real motherfucking shows, because what I see is Sky may build the device that's anti-Matchroom. That will be your biggest competitor, Sky. If Frank ends up there and the boxer guy ends up there, and we already know you normally do business with Kale and Nisse Sorland, but if they become exclusive to Sky, that's a resource you don't have anymore, right? And they can all do business with each other right there on Sky. And they're doing that to fuck you over and fuck the zone over.
The surprise for me, even though he's gone to DAZN, the surprise for me is because obviously over here, Sky have got the subscriber base. Mm-hmm. Simple as that. DAZN don't have that over here. Mm-hmm. So they've got the numbers, they've got the people, they've got, do you know what I mean? They've got the household. So I knew he would go with DAZN because they're offering him so much money. But I was still a little bit surprised because of the sheer numbers. I don't know if it's a good idea that he's put his all in at the zone, but we're going to
Joe
find out.
Joe Gallagher lended an insight that I, as an American, didn't realize that Sky is an engine. Sky is a very, very big network in the United Kingdom, right?
Yeah,
So,
massive.
It's the biggest, basically.
Thing that made AJ at the end of the day.
And what Joe said was basically that with Sky, you have a way to promote fighters better than on an app because everybody ain't got that app. But you walk into a bar, you're gonna see Sky. Wherever you go, you're gonna
100%.
see Sky.
You got even if you don't have Sky Sports, for instance, you have other Sky channels and they promote it on the other Sky channels.
Exactly, 100%.
That will make you think, oh my days, I got to get Sky Sports. So that's why Sky is so big over here. They even promote on terrestrial TV over here as well. So
absolutely,
which the zone don't do. So yeah.
Do they still have channels available on Freeview? Because they used to have Sky Sports News on Freeview, but it took
they still have Sky.
Yeah, Sky Sports
News
is still on Freeview.
Yeah, so they can promote it on there, which they're doing at the moment with AJ. So everyone's seen that, and you don't even have to have Sky to buy the AJ fight. So you know what I mean?
Eddie's banking on apps being the future, though. The whole app situation being the way forward. That's what he's probably banking on, and he wants to jump on that ship quick before everybody else. He wants to be the first to be on that ship. Such and such.
Now I got to take it to Mark. I'm gonna take it to Mark, then I'm gonna go in reverse because Mark, a lot of guys didn't get the answer. The Pacquiao shit. All right, Mark, 250,000 pay-per-view buys are the preliminary numbers being released for the pay-per-view. Is that an indictment on Manny Pacquiao's marquee value?
No.
Explain.
It's an indictment on the sport today in America with people wanting to pay $80 on pay-per-view. At the end of the day, things have changed dramatically over the last few years, and boxing itself has plummeted in market value. And then on top of that, we've seen a huge decrease in most pay-per-view buys all across the board.
So it doesn't count against Manny so much as the sport itself. That's your take.
No, it's more against pay-per-view in the sport. It's against pay-per-view to me.
All right, I'm going to take it to Sawab. Sawab, same deal, all right? 250,000 pay-per-view buys. Is it an indictment on Manny? Is it an indictment on boxing? Sawab just left. All right, Isan, indictment on Manny or indictment on boxing? 250,000 pay-per-view buys is shit. What say you?
I think it's just boxing, honestly. Like Mark said, the market's just changed. People don't want to pay $80 for pay-per-view anymore, and especially when it's not being too lost, but you know how Cubans are in the sport. They don't have any marquee value. Over in Cuba, they don't have the international TV, and fans can't travel over here to see the Cubans. So it's just like, no, it's made for like a bad event. I didn't plan on it doing very well at all. I think when we see the Canelo plant pay-per-view sales, if those don't do great, that's just going to show that the pay-per-view market is just plummeting more and more.
Let's go around the board. Let's go around the board, Isan. You just set the precedence. What is that fight going to do, Isan?
Canelo plant?
Yep.
I said the other day, because I think Canelo, I think he could do like a solid 800. Okay,
800.
No, let me finish. Because it's Canelo, but because of all the piracy and everything, and Plant not being a big name, I think 4 or 5.
Mark, what's it do? What's the ballpark?
Probably 700,000.
7.
Probably. He's bidden to become Mexico's first 4-belt undisputed champion and the first undisputed at super middleweight. The Mexicans will get behind that, which is kind of important, right? Considering they're the biggest denominator for pay-per-views in the United States, right?
That's true. So you say so Isan is settled on about 5. Mark says around 7. UK Rob, what does that pay-per-view do in America?
After theft, I think it will be about 550, maybe 600.
That seems realistic to me. If Manny Pacquiao and his gray hairs is doing 250, I think Canelo's good for 4, maybe 5.
Yeah,
maybe.
So. Yeah.
Now we transition to the old fish eyes question. Is it possible that old fish eyes climbs into bed with Adam and Sky Sports? Rob?
For me, yeah, I think he will. I think DAZN are going to purchase the BT Sport, and you'll see DAZN on your Sky Planner. They'll have their own channel, and I think it will open up that Joshua will end up what would have been the old BT Sport.
Okay, Mark, is that a all right, Mark, is that possible? Frank Warren, Sky Sports.
Yeah, it's possible. I think we're gonna see a conglomerate of promoters over there. I think he'll be one of them. I've been hearing that there's a lot of stuff going on with the Olympians coming out of Britain going to different promoters, not Matchroom. Maybe one or two are going to Matchroom, but the most are all going to other promoters, I think.
I heard that too. I'm not going to say everything I heard, but I heard that too. I heard one thing that disturbed me. I heard one thing, and it really bothers me. I hope it's not true. That my wonderful Natasha Jonas is going to Sky, and she's not just going there to fight. She's going there to be a pundit. I heard that.
That's great news.
That's not great. Well, I mean, I don't have Sky. How the fuck am I going to watch her fight?
Well, I'm sorry, bro. It's great news for me because not about the fight, but
I have done a deal with Bob, so maybe you can get it on ESPN, Julius.
I hope so, because I heard. Look, I don't care where Josh Kelly goes. Like, God bless him, but I don't care where Josh Kelly goes. But Savannah and Tasha, they're going. I'm hearing they're going to Sky, and I'm like, well, if they go to Sky, how the fuck am I gonna watch them fight?
Is Savannah leaving Matchroom as well?
That's what I've been told.
Well, that might actually improve the chances of getting Clarissa in the ring.
Nah, I doubt it. I don't think Clarissa wants that fight.
Well, I mean, there's every chance she don't want to get her ass knocked out for everybody to see.
Look. Remember what the original plan was, John. The original plan was for Clarissa to fight. I believe it was this month. That plan changed to October. And what I see with my psychic Capricornian powers is that Clarissa might like the press she's getting in the octagon far more than she liked the press. You know, she's doing interviews with major platforms and things like that. She's getting major coverage in the octagon that she wasn't getting in the cage. And she might say, well, what the fuck do I need to be boxing for? If I really go all in with the MMA shit, I'm gonna get the money I wanted and the coverage that I wanted. Even if motherfuckers don't like me, because motherfuckers not never gonna like me because I'm massively abrasive, but it's still.
The only way, I suppose, the only way she might come back to boxing, if you're right with that, is if she takes now. If she takes a bad L in it.
She seems pretty certain she's coming back in December to the boxing ring, right?
I mean,
against who?
Against who?
I don't know who against.
And on what network? On what network?
I don't know.
Because
in front of the same 500 people for $29.95 on Fight TV. In front of the same 500 people. Because those pay-per-view numbers they tried to release were bullshit. I was in that. I was one of those people there. There wasn't more than 500 people there.
All right. No,
I mean,
simple. But you know what? Listen, the fact is, yes, the reason why I believe that the Clarissa fight might be a possibility if she goes to Sky, because if she goes to Sky, they will sign her to Sky, so an exclusivity deal to Sky.
You out of your fucking mind.
Kinda makes it a more possibility than not, in my opinion.
Box watch. Who the fuck in Liverpool, in Wales, in England, in Sheffield, in Leeds want to see Clarissa? Who?
Yeah, we do. No, we all want to see.
The thing is, I tell you what they want is to see Savannah fight someone that's up to her par and beat her.
No,
that's what they want. That's what the UK wants to see. The UK wants to see. The UK wants Savannah Marshall to be a big star.
Listen,
that's what they want.
This is what might happen. You know, Nisei and Kale, they're real good with the Germans. You know who's good with the Germans? Christina Hammer, right? They get her. Come here, Christina. Let's make this fight between you and Savannah. Let's do that. That's what I can see happening.
The UK don't know Christina like they know
It's
Clarissa.
not that they know her. They're gonna look.
Julius,
I'm gonna ask you a question.
You're making my point. You're making my point as well.
Wait. I'm gonna ask you a
With that
question.
statement,
They
you're making
don't
my
know
point
her.
as well.
They don't know her, right? But I bet you won't have a hard time selling her because Christina's so nice to everybody. Like,
Yeah, but as well as that, she's also a person that fought Clarissa Shields, so that gives them a little story to build. You get what I'm telling you? It's a possibility.
This is how they do it.
A slim one.
Hamer would be part of this if they sign Clarissa for big money on a free fight deal, with the last one being Savannah. They have 2 fights to build her up. Savannah knocks out Hamer along the way, culminating in that fight. That sells here, Julius.
Okay, now let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Go ahead, Tim.
No, I'm just gonna say he just said Shields knocked someone out. That's all I wanted to say. Come on.
No. You misheard me. I said Savannah knocks out Christina along the way.
Okay, all right.
And she and I don't want to get into a fight breakdown because I'm saving that. But John is right. Now, what I'm gonna say is this. This is the thing. A lot of people tell me things that I don't talk about, right? They tell me things I don't talk about. I was told Showtime was sick of her. This is in America. This is an American premium cable network. I was told, I don't know how true it is, but this is what I was told. Showtime was sick of her. They don't want nothing to do with her. DAZN did one fight with her, and I remember that fight. I believe it was the Henna Rankin fight. She fought on DAZN, and I believe it was on the undercard of a Cecilia Breakers fight, I think it was. I just know she fought there once. And the staff, they didn't want to deal with her or her entourage. They don't want her back on the platform. I heard that. I heard something like that. All right? These are platforms that cater to an American audience where she is from. So if this is how the Americans might be feeling, right? You think the Brits want to put up with that shit? I don't. Nah, like we're going to sign you for what? We only need you for one fight.
The Brits don't know. They don't know what's going on with her over there in America.
It's going to be a heel. Brits will love to hate her.
They already hate her and she's not signed, John.
Right, okay, I'm going to give you an example, right? This is totally off left field, but my mom sits and watches CNN to vieweristically look at how crazy Americans are. There's actually a market.
That's actually true. There is a market to look at. Let me say this. Just let me say this. It is true. America to the rest of us is a reality TV show.
I knew, bro. I knew that. I'm not even in America right now. I'm in China. Most people don't realize I'm in China right now. This is China. No, I'm not in China, but I know that. The thing is, for Sky, right? They're not just going to throw money, especially with somebody like that has so many demands, because it's the demands that fuck everything up, that you don't view it as an opportunity. You think you're king shit. So I'm like, Sky, I can't see Adam Smith putting up with that shit. Like, nah, he's not going to put up with that shit. You like, if the DAZN didn't want nothing to do with it and Showtime got sick of the shit, what, Adam Smith is going to pick up where they left off? Nah, I can't see that. They need her for one fight. All they really need is to build Savannah.
Julius, though, I can see Sky really trying to push that because now they don't have Katie, right? Katie's over there with Matchroom. And the reason why I can see them pushing it is I think Sky were actually at the front fall more than even Eddie for women's boxing, because Sky have been pushing the Game Changer, the women's thing for the last few years. So they're very heavily in the female market. And they're trying to push into it.
I'm not saying that they're not, but you got all these British Olympians that been whooping all this ass, and I'm pretty sure a good number of them are going to end up over there. So it's not like it's all on. Oh, we ain't got Marshall and Shields, and they got plenty over there, dog. They
can bring Shields over as well.
That's honest to God, that seems far-fetched.
No, it doesn't, because it makes Savannah potentially a bigger star than Katie if she knocks Clarissa's ass out, and we'll get to see it.
There's nothing Brits love more than a good narrative. And they can build that narrative on Sky for 2 years.
That's true. The BBC sold this narrative about Daniel Kinahan being a criminal, but he's a great guy. They love the narrative. He's a great fucking guy.
Julius, we don't love that narrative. The amount of MTK channels I've unsubscribed to, so I don't have to listen to that nonsense. But anyway,
well, that's you.
No, come on, it's not just me. It's not.
It's not every Brit. It's not every Brit.
Other haters.
I think it is just you, John.
Is it? Maybe I can be corrected.
The whole panorama thing, that was a Mother Goose book. Daniel's a great fucking guy. Like, what are they talking about? Have they ever met
that
him?
was just a reboot on RTE's documentary from 6 years ago. It was the same shit.
Yeah, it's all bullshit, all right? Brits love a good narrative. The bottom line is, okay, so let's say in this scenario where Adam Smith and Sky, they signed Clarissa, what, she bases herself out of the UK afterwards, henceforth. How does it work? What, she's gonna fight for Sky in the US? No, she'd have to relocate to the UK. You think she's gonna do that?
I don't think it'll be a contract. Like a few people say, I think it'll be a one or two fight deal because
exactly.
And there's too much nonsense around the woman. That's the problem. That's the problem with her. It's just the nonsense around her. But yeah, I can't imagine them signing her. I really can't see it. One or two fights maybe, but not a long term.
I'm gonna put it to you another way. When the Zone debuted in America, right? If it were gonna happen, it would have happened around that time, right? Because Showtime actually let her go over there while she was still under contract with Showtime. They let her go over there, right? She had a fight there. And if it were gonna go down, it would have went down already. When the Zone was throwing all that money at everybody and doing all this extra shit. If they wanted her, they didn't want her. And Showtime didn't want her. But Adam Smith, he's gonna want her. Johnny, is she gonna be sitting there with Johnny Nelson, all that shit, talking shit? Nah, bruh. It ain't nah. They want her for one fight. That's it. They could build Savannah off of previous opponents. And the other thing that's not being said is there's other girls out there for Savannah to fight. Now, I don't know if there's a problem between Savannah and Eddie. I hear a lot of little bullshit. I hear a lot of little things. I don't know if there's a problem between them. But the fact that Savannah don't fight that often, they're all girls out there to fight. They're all, believe it. It's a barren division. It ain't like 130. But there's girls out there to fight. Why she ain't fighting them?
I can see Savannah going to Sky all day long.
I've been hearing that for 2 months.
I can easily see that. But Julius, 3 fights makes the Savannah Shields fight massive. They could make it huge.
Bro,
huge. Because Savannah is like, she's not only is she a highly skilled boxer, she's a KO machine.
Yes, she is.
Boxing. That's excitement. Excitement and the prospect of like putting that type of spotlight on women's boxing, I think appeals to Sky.
Now I'm gonna start with you, John. How excited does it make you that Huey Fury is gonna be boxing on Sky?
Pay-per-view.
Shades of Ali. That's my guy.
You know my thoughts on Huey. Huey is a skilled defensive fighter with a good power.
30 pounds. 30.
Oh shit.
30 pounds, Huey.
Yeah.
Oh shit! So should we?
Because he's a skilled defensive fighter with a good chin and no power. So you fight the 12 chin unless someone puts him up.
But Julius, let me just say, I really haven't commented on the whole thing. Eddie needs to watch himself on both coasts, right?
Yep.
Because there's a serious movement. Well, there's been a serious movement in America to freeze him out.
Yep.
And he's also being given a lot of issues by his colleague promotional company on the Zone, Golden Boy, to even make meaningful fights between their young fighters. So he's effectively also being frozen out by Oscar and Golden Boy. And now he's in England and he's obviously, which I figured Sky was going to do this, but it's going to be very vigorous because Sky also want to prove a point that it ain't just about you, Eddie. And a lot of people want to put Eddie in his place. A lot of these smaller promoters, right? So he has to really watch himself, because if Savannah gets to fight Clarissa Shields on Sky, Eddie already admitted that if he was involved in the Canelo negotiation, the fight would not have happened with Plant. So is this another one again where if Eddie is involved, the fight can't happen? So if Eddie's removed, the Clarissa Shields fight can happen with Savannah Marshall. I mean, how long does it take to people start saying these things like, oh, Eddie's the problem, Eddie's the problem? It might not
look, what they're gonna do to Eddie is what they're gonna do to Eddie is what Amanda Serrano and Clarissa Shields did to me this week. Oh, fuck him. Fuck him. He ain't shit. Loser. That's what they did. And they're going to do that to Eddie. You absolutely want, because Golden Boy, the deal with the zone is about to be up. If they end up on ESPN or they end up on Showtime, that's one less person that you could actually like work with to make fights. So all the zone is going to have in would be Matchroom. And that would put that much more pressure on Matchroom to deliver big fights. How can you do that when everybody is against you? Everybody's with everyone else. Top Rank has ESPN has Top Rank. Showtime might end up with Golden Boy and PBC, and obviously Fox has PBC. It's like, yo, you ain't even gonna have nobody to work with. Nise and Kel Sarlin, they might be in bed with fucking Scott and Frank Warren. So it's like, yo, dog, you better make something happen now. Make it happen.
Yeah, he gotta watch himself. I mean, when he signed with the Zone, I already had this discussion with people already who were telling me the Zone is somehow sabotaging Golden Boy. I was like, the Zone saved Golden Boy. What are you talking about, bro?
They did.
Right? But it's like Eddie comes off as a guy who is like, this wonderkind in a way. A lot of people don't like his success. A lot of people don't want to see him do nothing, because I think y'all said it earlier. There ain't really no true promoters left. Eddie Hearn is like an old school promoter who actually does his job. A lot of these guys are lazy, or they're just too old for the game now. But what they can do is click up and say, you know what, we are going to be lazy together. Listen, without you.
I'm going to say this. If the Zone is smart, Markowski and all those guys, whoever the fuck the CEO is now that John Skipper's gone, they need to make sure they keep their foot in the door of American boxing with Golden Boy. That is very important. That is pivotal. Do not let them go to Showtime or Fox or ESPN. You make them a good deal. Stay in bed with them, because you lose them. You can't put it on Eddie to appeal to the Americans. The Americans hate him just because he's a fucking Brit. All right? You can't put it on him. Not all on him. You need Golden Boy.
The other thing that's worrying for Matchroom is what you're saying about him not signing Olympians. A lot of Eddie's success has been based on bringing the Olympians who've got some sort of name through. And if he's not signing them and he's not bringing new talent in, when AJ's finished, what's he going to do?
I think Yafai will go to Matchroom. I think Price will go to Matchroom. I think those two will go to Matchroom. Everyone else, I don't know. Look,
I don't think Yafai will go to Matchroom.
Khalid is with Matchroom, bro.
That doesn't mean much.
That doesn't mean that much, and Khalid hasn't done that well. And
Khalid's essentially been shelved, and I've been hearing that there's been negotiations with Wasserman for Yafai. As far as it goes, I know Ben Whitaker's going to end up at Sky, not at Sky, at Matchroom. At Matchroom, Ben Whitaker's going to end up at Matchroom.
Matchroom, he is.
Yeah. Ben Whitaker's 258, right?
Marketable one out of all of them.
Yeah, Ben Whitaker's 258. He's going Matchroom.
Yeah, he's from the area, so I like it.
Scary shit, man. This is the fucking apocalypse, yo. Everything's getting fucking moved around. So beyond that, Sky's talking about pay-per-views, talking about Wasserman, right? And I'm like, unless all the things that we're pontificating on, right? Because this is all speculation, but basically a large chunk of this conversation is speculation. And I'm like, this has to be it, because Wasserman can't give you pay-per-view fights. Like, they can't. Like, how? You know what I mean? Like, what? Felipe Hergovic and who? Maris Breedis and who?
Joshua.
Well, hold on. let me say something to that, Julius. Matchroom in the US couldn't bring you US fights with the zone. It took a bit of time. Wasserman have a deal now with Sky. Sky is singularly by far the biggest promotional tool in the UK, outside of like the freebie shit like BBC or ITV. When it comes to what like sports, it is all Sky. BT is like it doesn't even matter in a large majority. Having Sky there, they can go in pursuit of more people. More people would rather be on Sky than be on an app. They want to be on Sky Sports. They want to be on Box Office. They don't want to be on the Zone. Like, and I know that sounds fucked. They may want to go with Eddie because he has the larger roster. Some of them will make that decision. Maybe you can give them more money. But a lot of people grew up with Sky. Sky is huge here.
So I'm gonna ask you, Mark. I'm gonna ask you, Mark, and I'm gonna go around the panel. Do you think it was wise for Eddie to go all in with the Zone?
Remains to be seen. At the moment, yes, but in the future, I'm not sure how. I'm not sure.
Rob, was Eddie Hearn right to go all in with the Zone, or should he have stayed in bed with Adam Smith?
No, I think it was the right decision, and I think there'll be news coming out that will cement that further. I think they're going to link up with the BBC in some regard, which will have possibly highlights packages that will drive people towards the app so they can catch it live. So BBC's obviously like the biggest free TV. Well, it's not free; you have to pay a TV license, but like everybody's got BBC One. And like I say, I think they'll end up buying. DAZN will end up buying BT Sports, and you'll find that on your Sky channels anyway. I think it's the right thing. I just can't see what pay-per-views that Sky could possibly. We talked about it. Shield and Marshall is probably a pay-per-view on Sky. But I don't see what's Huey
But
Fury
beyond,
gonna do?
but that's what I mean. Beyond that, like, what are we talking about? Huey Fury versus Kubrat Pulev's brother? What? Huey Fury versus who, bro? On pay-per-view, 30 pounds?
Yeah, I don't know. I can't see it. They would need more signings.
Sorry.
All right, I'm gonna go to Tim. Tim.
Sorry, one more. Sorry, I was just gonna say probably if Frank heads over there, if it works out that Frank goes over to Sky as well, you'll see the likes of Eubank versus Liam Williams and things.
That's the only way, bro. And this is what I mean. The only way that Sky can continue to put on pay-per-views under these circumstances is if Frank Warren is a part of the situation, because he does have fighters. And some of those events, you know what? Some of them are pretty all right. Some of them. Outside of Frank joining Sky, I cannot see Wasserman delivering pay-per-views to Sky. In the form of what? Chris Eubank versus Farfendugan. You know he's fighting a German guy next in October. You know that, right?
Farfendugan.
Who the fuck is he gonna fight?
I don't know. That's where I stand. At the moment, I just feel Frank is going to go there, especially if DAZN buy BT. I think that will null and void any contract because Eddie's exclusive. I don't think DAZN will pick up Frank Warren and Queensbury as well.
The power play for DAZN, with everything that's been going on with Sky, they have two power plays that they need to make on both sides of the Atlantic Ocean. You can either decide to completely corner the British market by picking up Frank and his little eyeballs, or you can decide to stay in bed with Golden Boy. If you can't do both and you have to choose one, okay, choose Golden Boy. Choose Golden Boy, because you don't have enough going on in America. You don't have enough. And you can't put it on Eddie because Eddie's international. He's not exclusive to just putting on cards over here. You need something for the Americans. More importantly, Golden Boy Promotions knows they have their hands on the pulse of the Chicano fans more than anybody. Believe it. They know how to do it. You need them. And if I'm DAZN, I make sure Oscar and his nostrils stay on the DAZN side of things. If I'm DAZN, I make sure Oscar and his nostrils stay on the DAZN side of things. If you didn't catch it the first time. All right, now Beats. We got to echo Beats. Like Beats is sorting out the situation. I'm gonna give him the opportunity because you can't ask the zone to, I guess, monopolize everything. I don't even know that they can, right? I don't know that you can get Frank and Oscar on your side of things. But if you only have to choose one, Frank is less competition for you in the UK than the situation could become in the US. You understand? If you let Oscar go to ESPN, they'll start doing business with Top Rank. Or they'll start doing business with the PBC. And now your enemy is that much stronger. All right. And they got Ryan Garcia. They got Jojo Diaz. They got Virgil Ortiz. They got things you need. It doesn't seem like much now. It doesn't. But it could get worse. Now, you got a good thing going on in the UK already. Frank can't fuck with you. Not really. Not just with Daniel and Joe. Nah, not really. But you need Oscar. The zone they need to sign them. Don't let them leave. Don't do it.
What I'm saying is, what I think a lot of the success of, I guess, what Eddie will have is based on what the zone, the business is going to do to both. Because even Joe Markowski has said, like we've all said, the zone is not a boxing app. It's a sports app, right? And you have other sports that draw other eyeballs, and it buoys the boxing audience also. So a lot of what the successes Eddie's going to have is going to depend on what people like Joe Markowski and these people, their decisions that they're going to make also, right? It's not just by signing Eddie and Eddie has to make the zone work because really, again, it's not a boxing app. It's a sports app. So they need to have other things.
I'm glad you said that, Don, because most people don't realize that, it's not a boxing app. They show all sorts of shit on there, dog. They got people swimming on there and shit. They be swimming sometimes.
Yeah, I get IndyCar down here and shit. I don't watch IndyCar, but I get a lot of stuff down here, right?
Yeah.
So, what I'm saying is, in America, though, they do need Golden Boy because it ain't a lot to go around in America. The American boxing market, I did a stream on it yesterday, is absolutely topsy-turvy. The biggest fight right now going on is Jake Paul and Tyron Woodley. That's going to do more than Manny Pacquiao and Ugas.
Yes.
The zone is in a market in America that is absolutely destroyed. I mean, you don't know what's happening in America.
That's so true.
That's what you still need Golden Boy.
I don't think it's fair to sorry.
All right, now Beats has entered the chat. Beats, Frank Warren, Sky Sports, can it happen?
Art Wasserman actually done a deal with Sky. I thought it was Boxer, BOXXER.
It's both.
It's both. Okay. Here's why they're still going to go with Matchroom. Because Matchroom are actually doing a deal with BBC to do highlight programs. And they're doing radio. And obviously, in time, they'll probably do, I don't know if they'll do big cards on there, but, they're all embedded in it. Matchroom, The Zone, and BBC. And eventually, they're going to head over there, man. They're going to head over there.
You think Frank will jump into bed with The Zone?
No, I'm talking about the boxers.
Oh, okay. You mean the talent? The talent is still going to decide.
Yeah, I think the boxers. That's why I was disagreeing. I didn't say Unrivaled was lying. That's why I was just disagreeing. Not disagreeing so much. Just adding to the discussion. I think they could end up ending over there if they do a deal with BBC. That's humongous. It's humongous.
You know that's not the first I heard of that too. That they're going to do a deal with the BBC. I heard that.
That is monstrous if that deal happens. As it stands, there hasn't been one, right? And it also depends on if rumors are to be true of what's been going around on the grapevine. The MTK might be locking up with Sky, and they have a huge plethora of fighters.
That's who's going to take over Sky eventually.
Guy. I thought MTK didn't want to be involved with Kinnahan killing.
That's what's going to stop it. That's what's going to stop MTK getting any further. What you brought up there.
Yeah, like, do you think Sky wants to be associated? You know that he got served in Dubai. He got served.
Yeah, he's been getting served for years.
He's my guy. It's Daniel. It's my guy.
What he said there about the
BBC can't be so. You know what? They're too like even though it's hypocrisy, like they've hid pedophilia and all types of different crimes and everything for years and years. You know what I mean? They allowed the cartel to run boxing from the 70s and 80s, but they're too stuffy nosed to get in bed with like the BBC, Sky. I don't know. Sky might. I doubt. They work with them already. They work with them now, though. They work with them now. Everybody in British boxing works with MTK.
Who's been one of the main commentators on Sky for the last 2 years?
Macklin.
Now listen. If Savannah Marshall, no, hold on, wait a minute. There's a prevalent rumor that Savannah's leaving Matchroom to go to Sky, right? Savannah's an MTK global fighter. She's an MTK fighter. So that kind of shows me already right there that, you know what, maybe they do work with MTK.
But
because they'd have to be.
The BBC thing Beats has said is they've got Costello on DAZN, haven't they, already?
Yeah. At least 30, 40%, I think it was, or 20% of the boxers on Sky and BT program come from where? They're MTK managed.
That's true. That's true.
And if I'm not mistaken, Beats, even though it was Warrington versus Lara the last time out, a lot of the fighters who were on that card from Lee Wood, Reese Mould, Dalton, they're MTK affiliated, aren't they? And that was BBC's first radio broadcast of a Matchroom show, and it was mostly MTK on the undercard.
This fucking program is MTK affiliated. Who do you think my sponsor is? I'm just playing.
Yep. That's it.
I thought it was Jay Prince.
Very powerful. Very powerful. Very powerful. We can't write them off. They're very powerful.
But Beats, do you think that, there's a situation with BT Sport that they could get bought out? Is it possible that Sky Sports takes on Frank Warren to fill the void that Eddie Hearn left behind?
Before we go there, Julius, we go ask who's going to buy them out. They're talking DAZN's going to buy them out.
Look, it wouldn't, honest to God, and I'm being honest with you, because I don't know if it's going to happen that way. But if it does, they can make some really good fucking fights with some of Frank's guys, man. That light heavyweight scene, it just opens the fuck up that you can make Buatsi versus Yard, a Buatsi versus Johnson, a Buatsi versus Lyndon Arthur. You can make those fights. No fuss, no muss. You got the...
Yes. Once the bread is there, though. See, the thing is, you see what you was discussing with John earlier about Frank putting Dubois in with Anthony Joshua. Frank can't do what Al Heyman is doing over here. He'll get chopped to pieces. You see, they'll flog him on the street, bro. Can't do that. Can't do that. If the money's there for the fight, you can't do that here.
That's what I mean. Al is used to being the smartest guy in a room full of morons. That's what I see, and I'm gonna leave it there because I don't want to keep worrying about the PBC. They don't have no fucking fights I want to see, so I don't need to keep talking about them. With Frank and Eddie, I feel like yo, dog, if they do decide to pick up Frank's boys and do business with Frank, yo, man, you cornered the whole market. You cornered the whole market before Wasserman and Sky got to do anything, if it happens that way. Because you can make Dubois versus White. You can make Joyce versus White. You know what I mean? Yeah. Think about how many fucking fights you can make if you do pick up Frank.
I tell you what, I'm not gonna lie, man. If Frank and Eddie start making it cross promotions, I'm not gonna worry about boxing anywhere else for a long time, bro.
I'm not gonna imagine Buatsi versus the winner of Lyndon Arthur versus Anthony Yard too. Imagine.
That's a massive fight. That's huge. It's huge.
So that's what I'm like. I low key, I kind of want them to pick up Frank now because I just thought about it. Yo, dog, imagine Dubois versus Alan Babich.
I would like Babich to get knocked out, and I think that's.
Oh yeah, of course he's getting knocked out.
No,
you
but I
crazy?
Soon, and I'd like Daniel to do it. It'd be a good. I'd like that.
Imagine Joe Joyce being unleashed on the Johnny Fishers and of the world. Yo, dog, Joe Joyce will beat the shit out of a couple of people, dog.
I tell you what, though, I think it's look, I'm not denying him his opportunity, but you see the WBA now they're flipping doing what they're doing. So you give people like Daniel Dubois title shots. He doesn't deserve a title shot.
Well, you know how I feel about it, Beats. Like, yo, that shit was wild. He loses to Joe Joyce, gets a fight before Joe Joyce, and it's a title eliminator with Bogdan Dinu.
Yeah, that's
But
scary.
Beats, if they actually follow through and put him in the ring with AJ, he's not had any way to prepare for that.
No, he hasn't. He hasn't.
It's destruction for Daniel. So I don't understand the benefit of putting him in the position.
How many rounds will that oil last if he fights AJ after Trevor Bryan? How many rounds?
Serious. Ooh, that is.
AJ do serious damage to Daniel, man.
Well, this is the thing. But see, earlier when we first broached this subject, that's why I questioned Frank's earnestness to make such a fight. That you can get him in position for the title shot, and you can have him fight in the eliminators. But do you really want that for Daniel? What is the benefit?
Who are you going to pitch him in with?
You can make a narrative around him like, oh, the man that Anthony Joshua fears while he fights off-brand German guy. You know what I mean? Like, the fuck? You'll find him somebody to fight. You get him in there with Simon Keane or just these guys that are floating around. I think
probably Erkin Tupper. Probably Erkin Tupper. Erkin Tupper.
I believe Frank would sooner put Joe in the ring with AJ than Daniel, because Joe has shown us, he can take a good beating and keep coming after you.
Joe is old as well. He needs the AJ fight for the money.
See, the danger with Joe, and I do view, believe it or not, I do view Joe as a bit of a credible threat to Anthony Joshua, because you've got to box this guy. That is clear and apparent. You got to box him. Don't try to hurt him. Don't try to knock him out. The focus has to be a 12-round fight where you outpoint this man, because you go for the gusto with him and you blow your load, it could be very bad towards the end of the fight.
Weren't they sparring partners for a full Olympic cycle as well? So they do know each other.
For more than that, because don't forget, when Joshua was preparing for his Olympic cycle, they were sparring partners. Then when Joshua went pro, they were still sparring each other for quite a long time.
I thought
Joshua was still a part of that GB setup.
The Olympic cycle.
I think Sky's first card with Boxer is today, isn't it? Is they've got an eliminator for the bloody English super middleweight title. I mean, is
that Sky? I thought that was a BT card today.
No, haven't Sky got? What's today? Is it the 28th?
28th.
Yeah, I think Sky got a card today.
I thought it was BT. Isn't it Woodstock versus Kakachi?
No, that's BT.
That's BT.
Oh,
that's BT.
That'll tell you how little I'm paying attention to Sky right now, man. Yeah, I'm watching Woodstock Kakachi and Akeem Ennis Brown versus Maxwell.
Everybody's gonna watch the BT card.
Absolutely.
No. This is the thing. If I'm Frank Warren, my best bet to topple Eddie's boy really is Joe Joyce. Some people, I'm not saying it's true, it's just that the feeling is Joshua doesn't have the best gas tank. There's people that feel that way, that in the 6th or the 7th round, he kind of takes it off characteristically. If you're Frank, you got a better chance at beating this guy with Joe than you do with Daniel. Daniel gets punched in that eye. That's all she wrote. Right now, Joe, he's shown he can take a phenomenal beating and keep coming after you. He's got a gas tank. Guys like 6'6", 6'7", he does backflips. I can't do a backflip, all right? This is your guy.
The other thing with Joe is he might actually be the bigger man naturally. He's got the shorter reach, but Joe don't really spend a lot of time.
Joe is fucking huge. Dude's huge.
He's a massive, massive guy, and he can stay away from punches as well. We've seen it.
I mean, if he's got to fight Joe, to me, he has to fight Joe the way he fought Andy. There's no other way to fight Joe. You're not going to knock him out, and you shouldn't exhaust yourself trying to find out. You got to outpoint him.
I'll tell you what's going to be exciting, man, is watching Joe take full-blooded racks from AJ and if that chin holds up, that's going to be blood, because he's going to get hit. He's gonna get
hit. You know it. Takam was all over him.
My thing is in that fight, and I may be going crazy. I think Joe can give him problems, but I actually think AJ will stop him, because AJ has a beautiful body attack, and Joe does not like it to the body, and he'll cut him down there, and he'll cut him down to the body. He'll cut him down to the
But
body.
this is why I want this fight in Abuja.
Well, this is why the fuck Frank
This
needs
fight's killer.
Frank
I don't
needs
want to. I don't. No, bro. I want to hear, man. I want to
Frank
go.
No, I
needs
want to
to
go to
go.
Niger and I want to be at the party because the party's going to last at least a week. And
Get Joe Markowski on the phone and tell him to sign Frank and his boys, man. Go into that. We need these fights. All right, America's letting us down. The biggest fight in boxing in America, Mark said it. It's fucking Jake Paul versus Tyrone Woodley. This place is a joke. It's a joke. It's a fucking joke that I'm tired of telling, to be honest.
I tell you what, man. You know the big, like, the fact that David Haye can finesse millions of dollars out of the American boxing market tells you where it's at. That's all you need to know. David Haye can't get no money in Britain.
Bro,
David Haye to fight like that. Nobody.
it's wild out here that, like, yo, these guys that are putting these fights on, like, you know, Stefan Espinosa, he's desperate. He like, we got to put something on. We've been putting on these Broner fights. Nobody want to watch them shits. Putting on these fucking, nothing is working. That's where American boxing is, folks. And I don't give a shit who feels upset about it. That's where it's at, all right? A YouTuber and an MMA fighter mean more to boxing in America than real boxers. So stop preaching to me that, oh, I'm being... No, I'm telling you the truth. You just don't want to see it. This place is a joke, and it's Al Heyman's fault. It's Bob Arum's fault to a degree, but it is more Al Heyman's fault because there have been fights they could have made, and they chose not to make them to a point where guys is getting drunk and crashing cars, people making you offers you don't fucking want to take them, but you don't want to pay for the fight neither. Who the fuck you think want to see these bullshit ass fights?
Julius, this Tyron Woodley Jake Paul fight might sell more than all three undisputed cards. It might sell. It might do more viewership than Castano Charlo. Might do more viewership than Josh Taylor Ramirez, and it might outsell Canelo Plan.
That was my
We're
question.
talking about all together as well.
This is the market that the zone is trying to crack. The most degraded. I mean,
look. We talked about this when we first started the live. That you have people here that advocate for how great pay-per-view is, yet they don't even fucking buy no fights. People here are stupid. I'm not joking. I'm not saying that for comedic value. There is something wrong with the average American. I don't know what it is. I don't know. I'm a first-generation American. But there's something wrong with these motherfuckers. Like, why you sitting here telling me about how great pay-per-view is and all you do is steal that shit?
As an outsider looking in, I believe America, from what I've seen, is America loves sensationalism more than anybody else.
Yes.
Loves sensationalism.
Yes.
And yeah,
You gotta keep it real though. It's a small portion because most of the people on my channel, no, we don't want to pay it. The fights are not valued. That's what they say.
That's true. Portion. You got guys. Look, and it hurts because it's Pacquiao, right? But it's like, yo, dog, like he's not moving the needle like that. That's what that means, though. That is what that means. That he's not moving the needle like that. But a YouTuber versus an MMA guy who's 40, that moves the needle. There's something wrong with your needle, then.
Manny doing Tank Barrios numbers now.
All right, AJ versus Canelo.
Oh, Canelo fucks him up, bro.
Yeah, Canelo's too strong, man.
Yeah, he's too strong.
How much pay-per-views with that dude, man? AJ versus Canelo.
Oh fuck, shit, dog. Fuck. That would be insane, actually. If they have a sparring session like AJ versus Canelo, you know what? They should look into that. Now that I think about it, just have a sparring session. Canelo was sparring Frankie Sanchez. They could spar. That's a point. All those guys who want pay-per-view are on code, but they don't like when you mention Heyman pays the... Yeah, that's true. Most people don't realize Leo Santa Cruz was guaranteed more money than Gervonta Davis. Mikey Garcia was guaranteed more money than Errol Spence Jr. That is a fucking fact.
Wow.
It's a fucking fact.
What's up with this OYU shit? What's up with this OYU shit though? That's really interesting. What's going on here?
Charlo goes to a diner. He can't pay for a BLT. You think it's a coincidence that Charlo can't pay for a BLT, Davis can't rent a car, and Broner ain't got money for his bills? You think all that is a coincidence? It's not. It's not.
I don't think it's a coincidence. I'm just like, what's up with that's some weird shit, man.
They have depleted. I'll tell you what. They depleted their resources. This is just a theory. I could be wrong. I feel like they depleted their resources trying to pay Canelo.
Nah, they've been doing that already though. They've been doing the IOU shit for a while with Broner and stuff.
Pac stopped moving the needle over. Well, yeah, that is true.
Shakur's earning more. Like we're switching promotional outfits, but Shakur's earning more than Jamel Herring, I think.
And look, I can't tell you what the justification for that is because I'm like Shakur does not have the fanfare of Ryan Garcia, for example, the fanfare of even Gervonta Davis. So I don't understand where this requisite that he has to make so much. Like, no, dog, Jamel Herring should be making the lion's share of the pot. He's the champion. You know, like Shakur's not like he's not buzzing.
That was a WBO move too. That wasn't. That was the WBO who ordered the poor split, in favor, and they did this. They did this because of fighters coming from different countries into other places as mandatories or whatever. It was based off of your last 3 courses.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is, your last 3 courses during COVID isn't a representation of your actual ability to sell because you haven't been in front of an audience. So this is just based off of what your pocket value is with your promoter, and they put a high guarantee on horses with Shakur coming out of the Olympics, and they've been marketing them like high hell.
But
then, it's not. It hasn't been working, and that's the flaw with the WBO's ruling here. Is they're basing it off of the guarantee of his actual contract rather than what he's able to sell.
Exactly, because it's like, yo, dog, look, and I have nothing against him. It's not about having anything against anyone. And if he could, that's the situation. It's just that business-wise, I do see it as farcical, and it's folly. Yeah, like, bro, you're not buzzing like that. Well, you're not buzzing like that. This is a business, and you're not buzzing like that. So how you get more than a champion? He's already defended the title against Carl Frampton, Lamont Roach. I think he had one other, the Oquendo guy. He's the champion. He should be getting the lion's share of the pot. It shouldn't be a situation like that. The good news is they worked out the particulars and the fight is done. So we're going to get the fight. It's all besides the point because we're going to get the fight. But this is more or less why boxing is in a state that it's in. There are a lot of things in boxing that go on that make absolutely that makes no sense.
Well, in all truth, they're lucky that Jamel's a humble dude, because imagine if Jamel was a PBC fighter. Yeah, you're getting left on the chat. That fight is dead.
Listen. PBC fighters don't want to fight, bro. Thurman has sat out for 2 years, and you're not going to tell me it's because of this and that. I'm telling you, he sat out for 2 years because he thinks in his mind he's supposed to get an arm and a leg every time he get out there. No, you're not. You're not supposed to.
That's why Ryan Garcia's sitting out as well, because he's not getting the dough he wants. That's why
he's talking about coming out next year. He might not even come back this year.
That's what I'm saying.
With Keith, he's also got to try and make weight, which is virtually impossible now, I would have thought.
Look, Keith
don't want to go up to 154 and get his ass whooped.
Took the words out of my mouth. He is food for the gods at 154. At 147, he beat one or two guys.
Around because he's going to be so drained to get all the way down there. He's going to be a shell of himself.
Listen, man. I just want Jaron Ennis to beat the shit out of this man. Can Jaron Ennis beat the shit out of this man? That's all I want. That's all I want.
That's all he is at the PB. He's waiting to be boots, and he can pretend he doesn't know who he is. But that's what they want to use him for.
Exactly. I got super chat. Canelo versus Amir Khan will do more pay-per-view buys than Caleb planned, especially since privacy has increased. That's true. Canelo is a powerful person in boxing, and everything else go on any channel app said it. Fishing, leave a bad karma, and somebody will reply. I'll say this much. Canelo is a very powerful man in boxing. We know this because everybody was waiting to see what his decision was going to be and when he would be fighting. They base their schedule around what he's going to be doing because it's going to affect the market overall. So that's is true.
Progress is saying. Progress says he can't do nothing until Canelo makes a move.
So I agree that Canelo's powerful, but the sickness in America, right, is that in a boxing ring, in the sport of boxing, in a boxing ring, a YouTuber and an MMA guy who's 40 probably going to do more buys than an undisputed title fight at super middleweight. That is a very palpable possibility. Yes.
what we said about a lack of promotion. Jake Paul doesn't suffer with a lack of promotion, does he?
No, he's a
Well, let me tell
Capricorn.
you what, right?
He's a Capricorn, bro. Yeah, for those of y'all that don't know, you know Jake Paul is a Capricorn, right?
Calm down, Julius. The point is that shows what can be done if you actually promote the fights.
Yeah, but the biggest problem, though, right, in America now, is if there was no Jake Paul or Triller and whatever they're doing, right, the Zone would have made Mikey versus Progress. But them fights have been relegated now. Nobody cares about it now. They don't care about that. Before all that celebrity and the other markets that came in, that was a big fight. Them fights are relegated in America now. And that's a great domestic fight.
But the other problem, the fighters make it hard on themselves, and that's the other thing. And a lot of people, they're bleeding hearts. Look, I'm realistic, all right? I'm very realistic. Everything in life is cause and effect. If you want to interpret it as being good or bad, that's up to you. But in reality, everything in life is cause and effect. Cause and effect. You got a lot of fighters. They think they're superstars already. You're not. You're not. You need to get out there. You need to get out there. You need to get out there often, and you need to make people care. You think you're just supposed to get it, and no, it don't work like that. If people don't care, people don't care.
I tell you one thing for sure in America, right? Is fighters who can't talk up for themselves and are quiet and are just normal, you're finished.
Yeah.
You're literally fit. Unless you're splattering people in one round every time you go out there, you're done. See,
Virgil Ortiz is the example of what you're saying, because see, he splatters guys, so he's saved. He'll go in there, it don't matter who they gonna fight, it's gonna be fun, people gonna have fun, and he gonna knock their ass out. So he's safe. But unless you like that, you're fucking finished.
But right, Julius, you were saying the Zone should keep Oscar. The more I listen to this conversation, the more I think, no, sack Oscar, put all your effort into getting Frank on there, and we'll just forget about America over here, and we'll have our fights.
You can't see. This is the thing. You can't out America. You know what America is? America's like a baby mother. You can't just forget about America.
You can once the kids are 18, Julius.
No. Hey, I'm still married. I'm still with mine. I'm just saying it like, yo, if you had to equate the relationship right now that boxing has with this country, it's like a baby mother. Like, you can't just not simply forget about America.
Kids are 16. What? It's nearly over.
Oh shit! I'm just saying that, like, there's still.
America's like a single mother, not a baby mother. Get it right.
Dog, like, I mean, look. I'm just gonna ask you a question. If you think about the American boxing scene, right, and what major fights it has to offer this wonderful sport, that thank God it's worldwide, so we don't have to keep worrying about what's going on in America. Yo, all the popping shit that would get me excited don't even involve them. Like, who? Teofimo and Davidson? When is that going to happen? Fucking fantasy fight is what that fucking is. It's a fantasy. It's a goddamn fantasy. Aside from that, the Americans won't fight each other. They won't.
Yeah. The 125 pound, you've got at least 4 names who are probably not even 25, 26.
And Devin Haney can't get one of them to save his life. To save his life, he can't get one of them. Ryan Garcia, and they're letting him. They're fucking letting him. Ryan Garcia, mental health, bullshit. You just don't want to fucking fight, and you're going to wait till next year. You're not doing nothing, but you can't fight Devin Haney.
All of this is DAZN needs to get Frank, yeah? Joshua needs to go and fight Joyce in Nigeria so that DAZN can make sure that everybody in Africa buys the DAZN app, even if it's only for 50 cents a month. And
now let me read this.
Bring out emerging markets where people will actually put on fights.
Let me read the super chat. Jake Paul has the WME Endeavor agency who reps The Rock and Denzel. He has a real public relations team and a machine pushing him. It's not the machine. It's that he's a Capricorn. I'm sorry to tell you guys. I know you guys get tired of hearing me say this, but it's because he's a Capricorn. Ali was a
On
Capricorn.
a serious note, he's really big business though.
Listen.
Yo.
Muhammad Ali was a Capricorn. Roy Jones Jr. was a Capricorn. Bernard Hopkins was a Capricorn. Felix Trinidad was a Capricorn. Joe Frazier was a Capricorn. George Foreman is a Capricorn. Customato is a Capricorn. I'm a fucking Capricorn. Usyk's a fucking Capricorn. Fuck! Jake Paul, goddammit.
I tell you what, man.
Isn't Usyk a counter argument to being able to sell on your own?
He's got the Joshua fight, bro.
No, but he's not selling that.
He can't about a dance part.
He's not selling he didn't sell the Chisora fight.
Can he sell
Chisora Capricorn, Mark?
So Usyk
Usyk's a counter argument. I'm just saying that you can't use a Capricorn to disprove.
Do you want me to go and look up every boxer who's a Capricorn who is useless and failed?
Fuck out of here. Even Gabriel Rosado sells a fight.
Yeah, Mark.
No,
Julius. You know
I'll do that.
Yeah,
I'll go search.
I know that he'll do that. That's the worst part. That he's probably looking it up right, like useless Capricorns. You'll find that very many of us are actually very useful.
Man, I don't know what Eddie's doing like with his right of Bill.
He's gonna use. Listen, Eddie has made it clear to me that he wants to use Bivol to build Buatsi. That's what he wants. He wants to use Bivol to build Buatsi.
He's going to use Bivol to give Buatsi a beating. That's what he's going to do.
Good plan currently.
He's gonna box his fucking head off.
No. The zone signs with Frank. Buatsi can fight all of the British light heavyweights, and whoever emerges, whichever one it is, then we've got something to play with.
Listen, they better make listen. I'm not against no fights getting made, right? I'm not. But business-wise, I don't think it's wise to put Buatsi in there with Bivol in 2 fights. I think I like these other domestic matchups actually a little better because I think they could do very good business. The Brits would be just as happy seeing Buatsi beat the living shit out of Callum Johnson. That's a good fucking fight.
He might not beat the shit out of Callum Johnson. Won't take the fight. But Buatsi might not win that fight. The way that his head stays on the line, That's
a fair point. That is a fair point because his head is real static. He does keep his head up dead center a little bit too much.
Well, I'll tell you what, Callum don't move it out the line either.
Well, you're right, Bids, but I just think if we look at Lawrence, right? Lawrence went to Shane, and the one thing he needed was a jab. Shane gave him a jab, and look at Lawrence now. You cannot tell me that Buatsi can't learn to move his head. He's not being taught.
Listen, Lawrence had that jab before he went to Shane. Like Barry Robinson had him on that jab before he went to Shane.
Listen.
Word on that.
Let's just call it what it is, guys. Virgil's overrated. Lennox has been banging that drum for a long time, and he was right. Virgil's overrated.
What about sending? What about
overrated? Ward would have been a great fighter, any trainer.
Yeah.
What about sending Joshua Buatsi to Salas? I'd love to see that.
Salas can't train everybody.
Yeah, so thank you, Beast. I was about to okay. You can't send everybody over there.
To Peter Fury as well because he's got power, so he can do what he did with Savannah with him because the power's already there.
I don't know.
Peter Fury's better than Virgil?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think Virgil. Honest to God, I think Virgil's overrated. I think everything that people say subconsciously is based on Andre Ward. All of it is based on that. That's one guy.
We don't even know if Virgil made Andre any better because he had him since he was 13.
Look, Virgil has Tony Yoka, and how's Tony been looking? Has he been looking fucking spectacular? No.
Just one fighter, Virgil's improved. One. That's all I want to know.
You're gonna be waiting a long time. Hey, I don't got nothing against Virgil.
What one fighter has Peter Fury improved?
Fucking guy, man.
I'm going to give it to you, but unfortunately, it's in reverse. I think
all trainers are overrated. All trainers. See, everyone's going to sell us right now. He's good, but all trainers are overrated. If the bottom line, if your fighter don't perform, you don't perform.
No, listen. Beats, in all honesty, I have to give it to Salas because he has made me look a fool, an utter fucking fool for the last 12 months. Ioka, Tanaka, Dubois, Joyce.
Look, you can't.
I want to know how far you're going back with that.
You can't use you guys. You can't use you guys. You guys is 35 fighting a 42-year-old guy who has longer arms and a natural weight class. That was never an upset to me. And you can hear my
Can you
breakdown.
use Luis Arias beating Jarrah Hood?
You can use that shit.
Because that was plus 600 right there.
Listen, man.
Jarrett Hood was a disaster waiting to happen. Look, man, I've done a breakdown on you guys and Pacquiao, and I said it's no upset to me. This will be no upset.
That's all fair enough, but how far do you go with his trainers beats? Because are you going to extend it to Eddie Foch, or how extremely are you with it?
Manny's always been limited against boxers, man. And Jarrett Hurd, God, man.
No. But Beats is making a fair point when it comes to Hurd and Arias, because the performance in the Julian Williams fight already showed us that something's wrong with this guy. Yeah,
100%.
Good points. I just want to know how it goes to this with trainers, because there have been, even if there aren't now, there have definitely been very good trainers.
Some trainers are better than others. I think we can all agree on that. Some trainers are better than others.
Some people say Rob McCracken is terrible. But to me, two of the biggest British boxers is Froch and AJ. But they say he's a terrible trainer.
No. All right, let's say this.
McCracken's a good trainer. Is he overrated? No.
Can
but
we
a minute
say
ago,
Salas
you said all trainers are overrated.
No. Can we say that Salas is?
I'll be a bit flippant there.
All right, Beats. Let's just say this. I say Salas is better than Ronnie Shields. Can we agree on that? Can we agree on that? I say Salas is a little better than Derek James. I do say that. I think Derek is all right.
Is Ishmael Salas a better trainer than Tesco Joe?
Why do you have to? Why y'all always got to take shots at my guy? Why y'all always got to take shots at my guy?
Because he's a meme. He's a meme.
He's taking shots at my guy.
You got Callum.
Look, sorry, Beats. He had a 6'3" 6'3" super middleweight with a 78-inch reach that couldn't use his length in any way. Gave it up straight away, instantly. Wait. Oh, don't use the Canelo fight as a barometer.
No, the John Ryder fight, he couldn't use his length. Against Holskin, he was struggling with his length. He got a bit away with it with power and raw attributes and size. Huh?
Dominic Ingle.
What about Dominic Ingle?
You don't rate him?
He's all right. I don't think. I think he's. I haven't seen him really improve fighters too much. I mean, his best work for me was with Kell.
Yeah, probably with Kell. Yeah.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys. Y'all be easy.
See you later, Kong.
Peace.
I mean, look. I'll say. I see what Beats means about the overemphasis of trainers. That it is true that when a trainer has a good fighter, perhaps it gets overstated, the trainer's role. Sometimes it's the fighter that really is the reason that, you're seeing what you're seeing. And too much is being attributed to who his trainer is. I understand that. But I also think there are some trainers that really are better than other fighters.
I would say
than other trainers.
Salas's training is way better than Keith Thurman's training. Keith Thurman is the biggest disappointment for me, man. That boxing performance against Pacquiao, that was terrible. Terrible.
Oh, listen, Keith Thurman to me is like, my opinion of this man in 2016, 2017 to now is night and day, bro. I used to think like, yo, this guy's all right. Now I'm like, can you get this guy off TV or get him off the camera? Like, he don't need to be doing it. You're not fighting nobody, bro. Why are you on camera? Why are you doing interviews? You're not fighting nobody. 2 years of this shit.
Why are you doing interviews? You're not fighting nobody.
It's 2 years straight of this shit. Keith Thurman. Wow. Keith. What about Keith Thurman is wow. Wow, you still don't have a fight date. How the fuck Sean Porter fights Sebastian Formella and you're sitting here doing interviews?
Wow, he cut his hair and his hairline is worse.
Exactly, like the haircut made it worse. Like, bro, just go bald, bro. It's time. She's not gonna divorce you if you go bald. You still got money.
But enough money.
That's too real. That's too real, Julius.
But if you can't handle it, pay for the implants.
That's the other thing. Fucking George Groves, he's got hair now. You're not going to tell me George Groves has more money than Keith Thurman. If Joe can pay for the plugs, you can pay for the plugs.
I'll tell you now, George is a bit like Carl in that way because George made a lot of great investments. Lots of great investments. So George, I would say, has way more money than Keith.
Well, Carl
so?
buy up houses and his brothers just fix them up themselves, isn't it? They fix.
Yeah, Carl owns nothing.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Money.
Oh, he owns at least half of nothing. He owns like hundreds of houses.
Look. There's nothing wrong in taking care of yourself in old age. Carl Froch got a nose job. He straightened his septum. He looks like a movie star now. He gets these haircuts. I think he has.
I like the old nose. He probably need it for breathing purposes, maybe.
Listen. If I could fix
I miss it too, Beats. It was distinctive. You know what I mean?
He looks like a superstar. He could do movies.
I'm the only one here with a nose like Carl, and I need to get mine fixed so that I can breathe. So I totally understand why he did what he did.
Listen. Carl looks like a movie star. Let's just call it what it is. He could do movies right now. He looks like a movie star. All right. If
really
Carl
bad movies, yeah.
Yeah, bad movies like Jason Statham movies, but he could do movies.
No, like straight to DVD movies.
Look, you wouldn't watch a movie Jason Statham versus Carl Froch. I'd watch that shit.
I'll be honest, I can't. I can't look at Carl with that shit-eating grin for more than 2 minutes. He irritates the soul out of me.
Look, no matter what
Jason
happens,
Statham is the most stereotyped or what they could typecast actor ever.
He's playing the same guy in every. What do you mean, Uncle? Like, it's the same guy. The only time I've seen any depth, and it wasn't really much depth, was Snatch. Because he wasn't fighting anybody, so he actually
he was a security. He was a hard-nosed security guard in Snatch.
Yeah, but at least he had to read.
He was an enforcer in Snatch too, bro.
Listen, how many lines did he have to read in that movie where they kept having to shock him back to life? Every scene was an action scene. At least in Snatch, there was dialogue.
Yeah, but all of his scenes whilst it was dialogue, were surrounded with violence.
Lennox is coming for you, Beats. He says, we will have to a proper discussion about Salas. Check that man's TV.
He's a good trainer, Lennox. He's a good trainer.
You can't mention...
He made Felix Savon.
Listen, you can't mention Cuban boxing and Lennox don't hop out of goddamn bush. If you're eating cereal and you say anything about Cuban boxing, he gonna be under a Cheerio. Like, what you said?
Look. No, Manny's a good fighter, yeah? But if you can box... and box well, you have a good chance of beating Manny, man. You know what I mean?
I mean, look,
it's not the Manny thing that's bigging up Salas. It's everything else. This man took Kazuto Ioka into the pound for pound list, and they don't want to put him there. They actually don't want him there. That's why he's number 10 on that list. They don't want him there, but they were forced to by fans.
That's true.
They were forced to.
I started talking about it because I wanted someone to teach Joshua Buatsi how to move his head, because I believe that he has the ability to do it.
I'll say this. Some trainers are better than others, but also it's what you're working with. It's also what you're... Look, some guys are going to be shit. Like, I think Jarrell Miller's shit regardless of who trains him. Some guys are just going to be shit. So it's both things. It's like, yeah, you can have a good trainer. Andy Ruiz's problem wasn't Manny Robles. Manny Robles is actually a very good trainer. Andy's problem was Andy. You see what I mean?
I agree with all of that, but I was talking about Joshua Buatsi, who's a disciplined guy with naturally good attributes who needs to learn a few things. He's only had 15 fights, and I don't think he should be put in with Bivol yet, because I think he could develop into being a good fighter.
Well, there we agree. There we agree. And I don't know why there is all this, like, I don't understand it myself. It seemed like people keep rushing Buatsi to be like, yo, dog, that dude don't have 20 fights. I don't be bothering guys that don't have 20 fights. Now, if you got 20 fights, yeah, then I'm going to start bothering you. But that dude don't even got 20 fights. Why is everybody rushing him?
I don't want him to be over there with Virgil, because I don't think it's going to get the improvement that he needs. That's my view. Which is what I was talking about.
I think they need more time. I'm not all fuckery aside.
I don't rate Virgil. It's because I really don't rate him as a trainer.
And I get that, but I honestly think that relationship, it could be good. They need more time. They need more fights. That's what I feel. All right. I'm not gonna lie. I'm getting more and more skeptical about Virgil the more I see Tony, because I think he actually did train him for the Jaco fight. I think he did train him for that shit. And that dude looked at it was
Beats. Let me ask you a question then. Did you hear Virgil's instruction to Joshua during the fight? to Boatsi during the fight that
against the is he Ukrainian? I can't say his name very well.
Bolotnik. He was a Latvian guy.
Yeah, Beats. Did you hear Virgil's instruction to him? Or
well, what was it? Break it down.
When there was nothing, it was like, you're doing really well. That was it. You're doing really good. No instruction.
Like the only big look, he's gonna get hit. You're not gonna turn him into some guy who's gonna avoid all the shots, right? His biggest problem was when he gassed out after he floored it. That was his biggest issue.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like, he got a total rush of blood when he.
Look, he might beat people. You can't just coach someone to 100% beat anyone, but he's always gonna get hit, and like you're not gonna turn him into a guy who's going to be moving his head consistently. He's not going to do it. It's not going to happen.
But is it my imagination? Is it my imagination, or is there undue pressure on this fighter? He don't have 20 fucking fights. Why does it have to be? Can I ask a question? Why are we talking about Bivol? He hasn't fought Isaac Chilemba yet. He hasn't.
Yeah, but then like Bivol, man, like. I'm not that strong with Bivol no more, man. He's good. He's good, but he hasn't fought. I don't think he's hit anyone who hits as hard as Boatsi either.
But he fought Joe Smith.
Joe Smith.
What, Joe Smith is hard as Boatsi one punch power?
Hits harder.
I've got a question.
I'd say he hits harder. I would say he might hit harder.
Beats, I've got a question for you. Let's say that Boatsi knocks out Bivol, yeah? Then he's really in the deep end, isn't he?
Yeah, but you are anyway. If you're in, like, that's just what it is.
No, but what I'm suggesting is he cleans up domestically before he tries to do that.
Look, I'm just saying that they should bring him along gradually. I'm not even ruling out. To me, Bivol makes sense 3 to 4, not 1 to 2 or 2 to 3, 3 to 4. That makes sense to me. Like, he has not fought a Isaac Chilemba yet. He hasn't fought a McCalkin yet. There's other guys out there that you bring him along. They've been in there with guys themselves. He needs that experience. Right now, the most seasoned guy you fought was Bolotnik. There's other guys out there that you could fight to build him gradually. I don't know what the rush is. To me, they're rushing him. If Anthony Yard gets to have, how many fucking fights does that guy have? How many fights does Zerto have? Zerto coming up on 50 motherfucking fights. But Boatsi, he ain't got 20 yet.
Can I say one thing, though? Can I say one thing? You don't have to fight Bivol, but if he wants to, go. If he wants to, and they want to, and they want to make that fight. Look, I'm just saying. Virgil, yeah, he fought Aegis, and that's a good opponent. He isn't adequately prepped for Crawford in my eyes. No. Not yet. But they're looking at that. If it's not Porter, it could be Virgil. He ain't equipped for that fight either. But if he wants it, who knows? Maybe he lands something. Same with Boatsi.
He could land something on Crawford. He could land something. He
could. Like, why not?
Wait.
Why shelter these dudes if that's what they want to do? You're not his manager, bro.
No. I'm not sheltering them. I'm saying that I feel that there's pressure from the fan, and I've seen it though. When is he going to fight somebody? What do you mean? When is he going to fight somebody? The guy doesn't even have 20 fights. Like, I think that certain guys get rushed, and it doesn't make sense. Like, I'm waiting for a Boatsi versus Chilemba kind of fight. That's where I'm at with it. I'm not saying they have to do that. I'm in agreement with you. If y'all want him, go get him. I understand it. But
can I tell you something from my point of view? And you can disagree with me if you want. Chilemba had that draw with what's his face recently, Chudanov, right? Fedor Chudanov, and that was at 175. I've been watching Fedor now for the last 3 years. He's washed. So is Chilemba. And from my point of view, I believe Bolotnik's is now what Chilemba was 7 years ago.
That's not crazy. That's not crazy.
And I don't think just saying, well, the name value because he's been in there with those guys. What he's actually capable of is what we need. And Chilemba's not capable of much anymore.
I think he'll learn more fighting Bivol than taking on the even if he loses, he'll learn more doing that.
Well, fair enough. You kind of sold me because I'm a big arguer. I'm always arguing against trying to protect you.
Let him take his beating. I mean, let him go. Have to take the head move.
Tough love from Boxing Beats and Rhymes. Let the kid take his goddamn lumps. He'll be a better person for it.
Only way you're gonna learn head movement if you've been stubborn with it is to get knocked out.
Well, look, then I'm gonna keep. Wait a minute. I'm gonna keep it real with you. If it's 2 fights from now, I go Bivol on points. No, matter of fact, could be Bivol stoppage. If it's 2 fights from now, that's how I feel.
You think Bivol can stop them?
Yeah, people forget. No, wait a minute.
Wait,
let me do this. Let me do this. All right, everybody's taking that goddamn Craig Richards fight out of context. The man hadn't fought 19 months.
Doesn't matter. He still doesn't score stopping.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying the man hadn't fought 19 months, and Buatsi is not as big as Craig Richards.
Can I actually comment on the Richards thing?
1 fight ago, right? Craig Richards drew at Southern area level with Percy Sundin, I think his name, from Coronation.
That's absolutely right. You are correct, and that's one of the biggest robberies I've ever seen in my fucking life.
Exactly. Yeah, that's right. You can say Sundin won the fight. Yeah.
No. I thought Richards won seven of those rounds.
Okay,
easy.
that's fair enough.
Completely dominated, easy. Like that was a schooling.
It was still a
but that was on Percy's promoted show, right? His manager's promoted show. That happens.
His head is too static for Bivol's jab. I said it.
Can I say one thing? To me, it's not even about if he can outpoint Bivol. It doesn't even need to be 100% legitimately. The fight will take place in the UK. There is no promotion or need for Bivol. And whether people like hearing this or not, the Richards cards, Richards don't matter. Buatsi do. Just have a think.
I don't know, man. Bivol needs, Bivol needs a good fight as well, man. He needs a decent fight.
Boxing fan shit. Forget fanager, just boxing fan shit. 2 fights from now, right? I go Bivol. 2 fights from now. If it's 2 fights from now, if they keep the plan is to get Buatsi out there before this year is out one more time, and then do the fight in the spring. If it happens in that order, yeah, I go Bivol. I go
Bivol, but Buatsi will punch his shots. A good punch his shots.
All right.
If Buatsi hits Bivol clean, bro, he's doing damage.
Bivol took a shot from Joe Smith Jr. and didn't go down.
Yeah,
he took a clean right hand from Joe Smith Jr.
Buatsi hits any harder.
Well, we'll see. We'll see if Joe can hit harder than Buatsi. Then that's what we're gonna see.
It's not about hitting harder. I'll say one thing. I think one singular shot, Joe Smith does hit harder. He knocked out Alito Alvarez, right? And he knocked him out brutally. But Joe didn't land anything else really in that fight other than that one shot, right? Whereas Buatsi, yeah, Bivol might land more. But Buatsi's going to land that jab. And Buatsi's jab is powerful. And if Buatsi can damage him enough and soften him up enough and land that one punch, he may knock him out.
Is this the thing?
Yeah, he may listen.
I'm not knocking you guys. It's the battle of the jabs for me. Bivol has one of the quickest jabs, one of the most educated jabs.
He's got a good jab as well.
I'm not saying he don't, but
listen.
Battle with the jabs, you gotta beat him to the punch. Bivol's got speed, goddammit. He's fast. He looks like a Bond villain.
You can argue that Joe may be hit harder than Buatsi, but you can argue. But to me, that's to be decided. But Joe don't do everything better than Buatsi. Buatsi probably got more range, length, jab.
Buatsi's wait. If we're gonna get into boxing, Buatsi's a better boxer than Joe by far. I firmly believe it. He's a better boxer than Joe.
But neither are better boxers than Bivol.
But how would Buatsi fare against Vlasov? Let's not shit on Joe.
No, I wouldn't put Buatsi in there with Vlasov.
I wouldn't put him in there with Vlasov. No way in hell.
I wouldn't.
No way in hell. He's too fucking big. He's too experienced. He fucked Joe Smith up. He fucked Joe up, bro.
Bro, it was like fighting that balloon at the car dealership.
I was trying to be biased as well. I was trying to be biased to score the rounds for Joe. But Vlasov beat Joe.
All right. All right. So this is how I think about it. And I know it's in some ways it might seem like a triangle theory. I trust Bivol to handle himself in that situation with a Vlasov before I trust Buatsi to do that.
I don't know. Listen, the Vlasov, Bivol have all the issues he needed with Vlasov, from what I saw. He'd have all the issues he needed.
God, when are they gonna get my guy back out there, man? I need to see Vlasov.
I think stylistically, I know we've seen it against Joe, but I have seen Vlasov struggle with guys who know how to use their jab correctly. Vlasov, if you watch the way he's fighting against Joe, he's wide open to just get jabbed and timed. If you watch the Zordo fight, or if you go and you rewatch the Glavaki fight, you'll see that he can be timed through the jab with the jab.
God, what if we get Vlasov? We're not gonna get that. I want Vlasov versus Beterbiev.
Vlasov versus Boatsy is interesting though.
Vlasov versus Beterbiev, I might ejaculate. That's a great fucking fight.
Why aren't these heavyweight fights happening, man?
Because fucking Marcus Brown is the mandatory for the WBC.
That's terrible. That's great.
He's gonna get knocked out, bro. Like he's gonna get knocked out. Like
someone in my comment section said Marcus Brown would knock out Boatsy. I said no, he wouldn't.
Fuck out of here. Fuck out of it. Boatsy will land on that. Look, you know what'll happen, Beats? Marcus Brown will be doing all right, and Boatsy will get through, and that'll be because the dude is a good.
He's sleeping.
He's sleeping.
Look. Brown's had one good performance his whole career when he cut Jack, right?
Yep.
And one of the worst cuts I've ever seen cutting down out of the ring.
Yep.
Now, let's reload the thing and let's go back a little bit. Marcus Brown got a very fortunate decision win against Rajab, whatever his name is, aka Hot Rod, aka Hot Rod. Mm-hmm. A very fortunate decision in that fight. Mm-hmm. He didn't win that fight to anybody I know. Mm-hmm. Anybody I know. Unless I haven't gotten everybody's cards. I don't know anybody who scored it.
They robbed it.
They robbed Hot Rod, bro. They robbed him.
Marcus Brown can't look.
You know what done my head in, right? Is when Marcus Brown beat up Shawnee. And they were going mad. I said, he beat up a fucking street fighter. The guy's so close.
Let's not get into the Shawnee Monahan debate again, Pete. We've been here before.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember that. Look. Marcus Brown. God, the look of him, he's got a good stab to the body, good jab. He's a southpaw. But the
Terbiev's gonna knock him the fuck out.
Look, if you go in the tavern, right, and Shawnee comes up to you, leave him alone. But in a boxing ring, you put a world class down in, he's done. Shawnee's done, bro.
And they're two different scenarios. If I'm in a tavern, right, leave Shawnee alone. But if you put Shawnee in a boxing ring with a world-class guy, he's going to do him. I ain't a world-class guy. Now, if you put him in a tavern with a world-class tavern guy, he might get fucked up there, too.
There's world-class tavern guys. There's world-class tavern guys.
Do you know where I'm from?
You're right.
Calm down, bro. You'll see fast.
Like, listen, this is world-class ballroom brawl guy, right? This guy's been fighting.
That's why I'm not excited by Alan Babbage's fights, because I see that on a Friday night every weekend.
Yeah, I like those fights, man. I'm
not excited by it because I see that's not on this. Bro, I'm not joking. I live 5 minutes off of a gypsy site, yeah? Those dudes go raw, like the full-on ones who are bare knuckling outside the pub at 11 o'clock over a fish and chips. I'm not joking.
I'll tell you what, man. The light heavyweight division has turned out to be a bit of a disappointment for me. I viewed it as a less political division.
Yeah.
And
there's so much potential.
And there's just so much that is. And really, look. I don't know if he's watching. I don't know. I know one of his relatives. I sometimes watches the channel. I think it's a cousin or somebody like that. I gotta blame Joe. I gotta blame Joe because you got Artur on your side of the street, but you're fighting Salamov.
It's too risky. He ain't made no money off the belt yet. They probably spent a lot in promoting Joe and getting him into that position. They just gonna put Frame in there with Artur to catch a beating, and that's it.
Exactly. And I always say it in every video. I wholeheartedly understand. I do that. If you can get money with Umar and you can get money with Daniel, that's what you're gonna do. That's what anybody would do.
How much does Joe earn to get a beating from the Beterbiev? How much he get? How much they make?
I mean, well, I think they would probably give him what they gave Bozdik. They probably give him $1 million or something like that. That's it. $1 million.
From what I know, Bozdik didn't get $1 million. He got $750.
I mean, Beterbiev is good, but what's his resume really? Apart from Bozdik, does he really have a good?
No, he does. He doesn't have a great resume, but god damn, he's fun to watch.
He's great to watch.
All right. Well, let's put it this way, right? We wouldn't be sitting here talking about the state of light heavyweight if that fight were made, because that's what I was expecting. I was expecting, if Joe wins the WBO, shortly after that they'll make the Better Be fight and we'll get consolidation.
You see, now Julius.
I'll ask a question then. I might slip it.
Joe fucked it all up.
I'm gonna ask this question. 4 fights that would not save, but like give the light heavyweight division what it needs. What are the 4 fights that need to happen?
Oh, I've got it right off the bat. Straight off the bat, I'm going Joshua Buatsi versus fucking Callum Johnson or a Yard or fucking Lyndon Arthur. Any of the 3 versus Buatsi. No, I've got more. Then I want Joe Smith Jr. versus Beterbiev. Then we got Bivol versus fucking Zordo for the crack. And then the winner fights the winner of Joe Smith Jr. and Beterbiev.
My light heavyweight ejaculation card is...
There's your 4 fights.
Artur Better Beef, Joe Smith Jr. main event. On the undercard, Dimitri Bivol versus... And I don't view the Buatsi fight as a mouth-watering fight for Bivol. Give me my card. Better Beef versus Smith Jr. Co-main, Bivol versus Zurdo Ramirez. Undercard, Buatsi versus Lyndon Arthur, Battle of the Jabs. Those is the fights.
And then the fight under put Yard versus Callum Johnson.
That's my light heavyweight ejaculation card. You make a card like that, people are gonna die in the audience watching that shit.
Okay, that's interesting.
You couldn't get a better card like that anywhere, any other division. You couldn't.
I can change 1 fight on that card and make it better. I would take, just for me, I would take Lyndon Arthur out. I know people will hate that, and I would actually make Buatsi versus Callum Smith.
That's interesting.
No, it's not bad. We just ain't seen Callum at 175. So I'm like,
look, I'm not. The main reason why is he to me, he's more exciting to watch than Lyndon Arthur. I don't like watching him fight, man. That's just me.
Joshua Buatsi's gonna make it exciting. Joshua Buatsi has killer instinct, even if Lyndon Arthur doesn't really. Joshua does.
I'll be honest, Joshua Buatsi will run through Lyndon Arthur.
You think
he'll run through him fast.
Maybe.
I've criticised quite a lot. I've criticised him a lot, but that straight right that got rid of Bolotniks, if he lands that on people, I don't think they're getting up.
Listen.
Lyndon Arthur can't take that shot. I don't think.
No way.
I don't think Anthony Yard could take that shot. I don't think Anthony Yard could take that shot.
I don't know. Yard seems like he's got a solid chin. I don't know if he can take that kind of punch though. But Yard seems solid around the face. That
was like a Rolls Royce straight right down the pipe,
bro. Because he was to the side of him when he landed it. He shot a jet. He hit him in the body. He got to the side of him. Mop right on the side of his face.
Into it as well, like the actual technique and delivery of the straight right. Because he smothered his work when he got him hurt.
Yep.
But when he relaxed, then I could see what he could actually do with it. That was the thing of beauty.
That is the light heavyweight masterclass card. You have on the undercard Yard versus Johnson, fucking Buatsi versus Arthur, Bivol versus Zurdo Ramirez, and the main course. Better Beef versus Smith Jr. Somebody's going to the hospital.
What division are we doing a fantasy card on next? Because that shit's fun, man.
That's fun. Well, I gotta eat some fucking lunch.
135. Do 135.
That easy. Oh, no, all right. 135 main event. Gervonta Davis versus Teofimo Lopez. On the undercard, co-main event, chief support, Lomachenko versus Haney. Under that, Ryan Garcia versus somebody with a fucking pulse. Maybe Jojo Diaz. Right. Those is the.
What about Ryan Garcia versus William Zepeda? Who just fought Hector Tanahara? Beat the shit out of him.
He did.
Come forward, super aggressive.
They're not gonna put Ryan in there with no.
We're not asking for what they're doing.
You're right. I remember. They're like
I would change a couple of things to your card. One, I would make the undisputed fight. Devin versus Tio at the top of the bill. Then on the co-main, I'd actually, this is my card. Then I'd have Tank versus Loma. That's the only changes I'd make.
I'll say this. Look, Davis versus Teofimo, commercially, aesthetically, however you slice it, that is a fight where people will have panic attacks. Like especially invested people. If you're invested in the career of Gervonta Davis, you don't want that fight to ever see the light of day because you don't want to have to deal with the nerves that lead up to the fight. You don't. Like, what if he gets knocked out what if this is it? Because see, this is gonna be the fight that he hasn't had. You ain't been in there with no big punches. Nah, that can box.
And get knocked the fuck out. And Loma's not going to do that.
Yeah.
Why would the division need saving? Come on, let's pick another division.
All right.
Middleweight.
No, fuck, no. I don't want to talk. Welterweight needs saving more than middleweight.
Oh, okay. All right.
Oh, I got that shit straight off the bat. Crawford versus Spence. Ortiz versus Ennis.
Yep, co-main.
Yeah, right now. Put that fucker out with his eye patch. Right now.
Clayton versus Thurman. Give me Clayton versus Thurman on the undercard. And Broner versus Ben on the prelim card.
Broner, yeah, I'll have Broner and Ben on there.
Broner and Ben.
Preliminary.
That's a fun warm-up fight.
Give me, you know what? Like, Jay, who did you? I know you put Clayton versus Thurman. Nah, screw that, man. Give me Thurman versus Egas. Give me that. I want. It's gonna be brutal one way or another. I ain't sitting around to watch Castillo Clayton dance for 12 rounds.
You are fucking right.
Versus Ortiz got to be on the card.
Yeah, co-main. Ennis versus Ortiz, co-main. All right. Middleweight, Golovkin versus Charlo, main event. Ryota Murata versus give me Ryota Murata versus Yanibek as the co-main. Somebody's getting knocked out.
That's a good.
Hey, you better put Murata on the card. I ain't paying the pay-per-view.
you have to put him on the card of your hating, Jerry.
God. Who do you find for this guy? No, you know what? Fuck that Golovkin. Give me Andre versus Charlo, main event. Give me Yanibek versus Ryota Murata, co-main event. Golovkin versus I'm just not interested in that guy anymore. Like, I'm not.
Hey, Golovkin.
Give us Golovkin versus Larry.
Yeah. Give me that. Yeah. They're both old. They're both at
160.
Yeah, give me that. Golovkin Lara. I'll take it. I'll take that. I'll take that.
If you're not doing that, personally, I would do Golovkin versus Andre. I want to see that for some reason. I want to see it.
I'm not against the fight. It's just that there's bad blood between Andre and Charlo.
Charlo's better.
And I need to see that. I need to know what happens. I need to know. Rhode Island versus Texas. I need to know. All right. What's
you guys see the
enough?
first bid for Munguia and Sergey is ordered?
Oh yeah.
Oh shit! Yeah, I forgot all about Munguia.
Wait a minute. How the fuck?
Throw Munguia in there with Murata, bro.
Oh my!
Let's get that shit.
Hospital fight.
Hospital. That's not bad.
Mexico versus Japan in the hospital bill fight, because both of y'all going to end up in the hospital. Murata has a good right hand. The shit is, if Munguia caught him now, honestly, I'd pick Munguia to beat him. Why? You haven't fought since the Stephen Butler fight. You ain't fought in like a whole fucking year, bro. Munguia been fighting, fucking people up. Y'all see what he did to Turiano Johnson lip? He split his shit. Motherfucking shit looked like a vagina after that shit. Split. Meat hanging out. Gross.
How you think Sergey versus Munguia go? I think Munguia's gonna
I'll
win.
pick Munguia to beat him. Munguia beat him right now because he's in a bad way. He's in a bad way. He had a tough fight with Golovkin, sat out a year. He goes in there with Charlo last year, he gets battered.
No, it's not even that. It's Jacobs, Kulke, Golovkin, Charlo. All four.
Jacobs
and the Jacobs fight was rough and tough, and he got cut up in that fight bad. Then he fights Kulke. He got the win. It was really close on points. He got cut up real bad. He fights against Golovkin. He loses on points. He gets cut up real bad. He goes in there with Charlo. Gives a bit of a good effort, but he loses 8-4-9-3, and he gets cut up real bad.
Yeah.
His feet are slowing down.
He's in a
His
bad
punch
way.
resistance is starting to wane. Munguia is going to break the last of what's on his skin.
Exactly. And that's why I wasn't over the moon when Charlo beat Sergey, and I definitely won't be over the moon if Munguia beats Sergey because he's in a bad way. He's had a lot of fucking hard fights, and it's obvious. It's obvious. That dude got scar
I'm
tissue
only
all
happy
over.
that eventually we're gonna see. I'm only happy about it because it means that Munguia is finally gonna
Bridgerweight,
step up
come on,
and
do
eventually
Bridgerweight.
face
Let me see
Charlo.
your
Now,
skills.
who's gonna win that fight?
Bridgerweight.
Oh, Bridgerweight. All right, at Bridgerweight, give me Dmitry Kudryashov versus Alen Babic. The brain damage fight. That's the brain damage fight. Because one of y'all gonna be.
That's sick. That's sick.
Give me Oscar Rivas versus who's a good guy to move there or who could move.
Give me Oscar Rivas versus.
Akoli.
Give me Oscar Rivas versus Gassiev.
Oh,
that's nice. That's nice.
Oh,
Nice.
Give me that.
Oh, God. Yo,
I
dog,
don't know, man.
that's a bad fucking fight, dog.
Yeah, it's a good
Nobody gonna get hurt in that shit because you know they both are level. Oscar Rivas is not tall; he just sturdy. And Gassiev, obviously, he like that. They're both mid-range to inside guys. They're both close quarters fighters.
Give me Bryant Jennings versus Maris Bradis.
I don't want to see, man. I don't want to see Bryant Jennings.
Can Bryant Jennings make Bridgerweight?
He's gonna have to. He's gonna have to very soon. He's fighting Oscar Rivas there in a rematch.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
For the WBC Bridgerweight title. That's real shit, bro. It's going down in Montreal.
When's that happening?
I think that's next month.
November.
Yvonne Michaud. It's November.
November, Mark.
Yvonne Michaud is making that fight.
None of the other sanctioning bodies going with the Bridgerweight. It's just WBC.
It's
just the WBC right now. But it's happened in the past where one sanctioning body starts for. Nobody was going with the 154 title, right?
Bro, he gonna have that belt, and he ain't gonna have nobody to fight for it but Marco motherfucking Huck, regardless of what.
No, he's gonna have Alen Babic.
This IBF for years, man. 168.
Ain't nobody trying to be no Bridgerweight champion, motherfucker. What's your division, yo? Bridgerweight.
Look, at the end of the day, right? There's only one sanctioning body. That shit's gonna be too ASAP because the WBA are now losing a fuck ton of sanctioning fees. They want another title.
Oh, so you think they'll follow suit because
the WBA will go with the Bridgerweight within the next 2 years?
Yeah, the thing about Oscar as well, right? With Oscar Rivas, at around what is it, 220, 225, something like that. Oscar's seriously dangerous at those type of weights.
Yes, and
he could be very entertaining.
John, it's a division full of journeymen. It's a division full of journeymen.
Not a journeyman.
No, I'm telling you that he's the most dangerous guy there because the rest of the division is a division full of journeymen.
Yeah, have you heard the top 10 or top 15 rankings, John?
No, sorry, I thought he was calling Oscar.
No, not us.
No.
Wilder fights there.
I agree with that.
Wilder's ranked in there. Who beat Wilder as an amateur?
Wilder should go to fucking Bridgerweight. Stop.
Yeah, Evgeny Ramonov is there. Jennings is there. Lucas Rozansky's there.
Wilder should go to fucking Bridgerweight.
By the way, shout out to Alen Babic. He is ranked number 5 at Bridgerweight.
Oh yeah.
Yo, Wilder versus Babic. Wilder versus Babic. The awkward fight. Either one of you can box.
You know what, man? Screw it. At Bridgerweight, give me Alen Babic versus Arthur Spielking.
Arthur can't take a punch. He get knocked out.
Hooligan out of it. The man's got no chin.
Hold on. I'm sorry. Did I ask him to have a chin? I want blood.
You're getting knocked. No,
I'm a boxing fan.
I'll knock him
me to not want violence.
Mark, you told me you can see that in the pub on a Friday night.
I can.
The chandelier fight. Mark, the chandelier fight. Kudryashov, Spilka.
No, Kudryashov will kill him. He was Kudryashov was walking through Evgeny Ramonov's shots with his hands down towards the end of the fight. Him rehydrated at 224, he looked like he was 280. He actually looks like he's benefited from the weight. He's got punch resistance.
You're reading too much into that fight. I got to read this super chat. Oscar Valdez versus Tank at 130 if he could make the weight healthy. That's the thing, Luis. I don't think Tank can make 130 healthy anymore.
I think you might have been talking about Virgil as well there. But can either of them make the weight healthy anymore?
Oscar can make
I thought you said Virgil.
No. He said Oscar Valdez versus Tank at 130. It would have been a great fight. It would have been right at the right time. But I don't think Tank can make 130 healthy. I think 135 is where he really belongs. And the best fight that gets my attention for him at that weight is Teofimo Lopez. I got another one. Jeff Bezos, get him involved in Boston. See a vegan not be corrupt, and he's rich enough to go space close to being a trillionaire. Maybe he could start making these for real. Jeff Bezos don't watch boxing, bro. Who don't watch boxing? He's shooting penises into space. Y'all seen that shit? A giant cock. He shot a giant cock into space. It was a big fucking dick.
I thought I was the only one who knows that.
Yeah, like this dude is shooting peanut. Like, is this like I seen that shit and I'm like, is this a joke? And I'm like, no. I looked at him like, is this a joke? Is it a meme? Like, no, it's fucking real. Like, he shot a penis into space. That dude don't care about boxing. He building gigantic penises. Rich people, man. What's wrong with him? He could have built a gigantic vagina to shoot the penis into. It is what it is. On that note, I'm gonna end this live, gentlemen. Always a pleasure.
This was a fun one, Julius. Thanks, Mark and Beats.
Yeah, man, it was good, man.
This was
God bless. God bless, Chris.
All right.